Welcome to Sunday Night Baseball on NBC, presented by Capital One. And the show takes us to Houston, Texas tonight, the home of the AL West champs, 7 of the last 9 years, trying to make it 8 of 10. And there has been no greater adventure than the American League thrill ride this year, and specifically in the corner of the American League West. It's the Astros by 2.5 against the Rangers, who lost again in Sacramento today. The Mariners are lingering, the champs from last year, 5 games back in this division. The series is on the line tonight, and we are so happy to have you along. Jason Benetti, as always, with experts from both sides. Mariners analyst Ryan Rowland-Smith, Astros analyst Jeff Blum. You guys have watched this all year long, so you're here to explain it to us. Blummer.
Yeah, wish us luck.
Yeah, first of all, yes, good luck. Second of all, if the Astros do this thing, how does it happen?
It's got to go through Yordan Alvarez. We've talked about the Triple Crown winner, potential winner all year long, but it's what can guys do around Yordan, because they're going to start to key on him, pitch around him. Cam Smith is having a brilliant August, doing a very good job in right field. Jeremy Pena, for me, is a guy who's got to start to ignite the thing at the top of the lineup for these Astros. And, of course, tonight we've got the Diesel starting for the Houston Astros. If Hunter Brown can be 2025 Hunter Brown, good things happen.
He said the diesel and the train went off. That is home cooking right there. All right, Ryan, the Mariners, 5 games back, still in play here. What do they have to do to come back in this thing?
They are still in play. Look, the expectations were through the roof after winning the AL West Championship for a first time in a long time. But what do they have? They have some of the most consistent starting pitching, and that rotation is deep. Logan Gilbert is having a really good second half. Emerson Hancock was outstanding. A lot depends on what Brian Wu can do on the road, and he's on the mound tonight. But what do they need? They need the big bats still to find some kind of momentum. Everyone doing big things at the same time. Look, it's the month of August. Julio Rodriguez, we know he starts to heat up in the month of August. Josh Naylor's starting to slug. But Cal Raleigh, can he salvage this season and get on a little hot streak here to finish up the 2026 year?
That is the name that's on the minds of so many. Anthony Rizzo is downstairs inside the pitch with us once again. Anthony, if you're Cal Raleigh with 6 weeks left and a possible AL West title run, where's your mind have to be?
One day at a time. You really have to just keep it simple. Talking to yourself has to be positive self-talk. He's the big dumper. He's Cal Raleigh. He has the big name for a reason. Lead the pitching staff. Lead the guys in the clubhouse. And this is where you find out what you're made of when you're not having your best year. August, mid-August, these are the dog days. This is when true leadership shines. And I know it hasn't gone the right way for Cal Raleigh, but these next 6 weeks, he could rewrite the entire ship for this Seattle Mariners team.
Yeah, nobody's going to talk about July if September and October are phenomenal. It's our starting lineup presented by Capital One for Seattle. Brendan Donovan at the top of the order is important for the Mariners against Hunter Brown, who is the Astros starter here as we're just about ready for first pitch. You called him the Diesel. He's here tonight, Jeff.
Yep, he is out of Detroit, Michigan, and he brings the fuel. If he's right, he's around 97 to 98 with that 4-seam fastball. Also developing a 2-seam fastball over the last couple of years to get in on right-handed hitters. But in order for him to be good, he's got to ride that fastball at the top rail of that zone.
Here we go, series on the line. Mariners have handled the Astros so far this year, and it's a first pitch swing from Donovan for out number 1. Astros defense has, at points this year, been wobbly. They're about middle of the pack, depending on what metric you look at. Yordan Alvarez out there in left field. There are a bunch of gold gloves out there, Jeff.
No, there's some really good ones. You've got 3-time Gold Glover Christian Walker at first. Has yet to make an error at first, and he's also one of the league leaders in scoops. But the interesting thing is seeing Yordan Alvarez out there in left field.
It's an interesting ballpark to play left.
Yes, and I feel like the Astros have a sense that if they are going to let Yordan play, they can put him out there in left field here at Daikin Park. There's limited range in this ballpark because of the Crawford boxes, but you've also got a guy who usually gets ground balls when he's right in Hunter Brown. And that might be why you see Nick Allen at second base also.
Well known for his defense during the Olympic run back in 2021. But here is Randy Arozarena, who you remember had a 2020 postseason to remember. There's power in that bat.
Yeah, there is. And look, I talked all about the big bats in the middle of the lineup when you're talking Julio, Cal, and Josh Naylor, but someone who's been so really underrated all year long. Randy Arozarena, the chase is down. The at-bats have been better. He's been driving the ball to right field more often.
He's on 1 and 2 from the Michigander Hunter Brown. You know, he's got that devastating fastball. He has the 3rd best batting average against a 4-seam fastball in all of Major League Baseball this year.
Justin Verlander wanted to emulate what he did, and Verlander was one of those guys who was very aggressive with the fastball.
Arozarena powers this to the Crawford boxes, and the Mariners lead. Just like that, Seattle 1-0.
There's that guy again.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look, all-star this year. He's cooled off a little bit. He's only hitting around 150 against righties in the month of August. But, man, you talk about salvaging some of this offense. The guy's giving high fives to right now, Julio, who's been a little bit back and forth. And obviously Cal, who's really struggled. Another big swing from Randy Arozarena.
That is just the 3rd home run Hunter Brown has allowed this year on his 4-seam fastball. And if you're into the Little Mermaid, you're going to love the celebration from the Mariners in the dugout.
Is that one of those thingamabobs?
Yeah, they've got plenty.
Jason, for me as a hitter there, looking at Randy take the pitch before that, that slider was a nasty strike the ball slider, and he took it with ease. Just told me everything, that Randy's seeing the ball well, and that next pitch was a fastball, just getting on it, and that's what he did there.
Why, Riz?
Because you see where the slider needs to start, and you know that's one of his wipeout pitches, so you know you're seeing it well. So just trust your eyes, stay on the fastball, and you know you're going to be able to hit anything that breaks out of his hand.
Randy Arozarena, his 17th home run, and now 3-0 on Dom Canzone, who is celebrating his 29th birthday today, but celebrating this year because of how much of a new dimension he's brought to this offense.
Big time. And look, he's hitting 3rd. That's not how they wrote it up coming out of spring training, but some sneaky power, and had to earn his way to play every day. He was a platoon guy. They didn't want him to face lefties.
There's some of that power deep to right field, to the warning track and off the wall over the glove of Wade. Canzone with more slug. It is a 1-out double. Man, he's been huge for the Mariners.
He has, and like I said, like sneaky power. He's a guy who just a ton of voltage off the bat. He's been pulling the ball a little bit too. The approach he tries to take is staying up the middle. He's kind of aiming for that batter's eye, trying to stay up the middle. But man, I'm telling you, when he can get the ball in the air to the right side, good things happen.
You got Jeff Blum over there saying, "Here we go again."
Yeah, all the scouting reports I've read, all the information that NBC has sent us, I almost put it in the shredder because I don't believe a word of it.
Tell us why.
They're averaging less than 4 runs a game during the regular season. Yet every game I've seen them play against the Astros, they've averaged 7 runs a game. And it hasn't been, you know, duck snorts, a couple of Texas leaguers. It has been demolishing.
That pitch to Rodriguez is hit very well into right center. To the track it goes, and Dalton Varsho runs it down. Canzone to 3rd. Just so you know, Jeff Blum did just throw his hand in the air on contact. You didn't see it in the booth. I know, I did too. Look at this though, and early in the year, that's one thing when the Astros were down some pitchers, right? But this is now during a series when the Astros are closer to healthy starting pitching wise than they have been all year.
Well, and that was the hope coming into this series, is knowing that those previous series, the Mariners were beating up on Tatsuya Imai, who had a rough year, Lance McCullers Jr., who is no longer with the ball club, and you figure getting Peter Lambert, who's been very consistent, Hayden Wesneski, and Hunter Brown, these are the 3 best starters in that Astros rotation.
Well, we talked about coming in this series too. This is a completely different Astros team, because the way you beat them was the fact that they simply could not throw strikes in the beginning of the year. And it was doom and gloom too for the Astros in regards to, is this the end of a run? You know, they've had such a strong run, especially at the top of the American League West. Here they are leading the charge.
I'll tell you what, they're taking some healthy swings in this series, and they're taking healthy swings early on against Hunter.
Against that fastball too. You know, he had that shoulder issue. It's tough to really get that good release point. Sometimes that arm dips. His arm did dip a little bit. Didn't have the same velocity out the gates. He's got that velocity back, but man, they are hunting that fastball.
I think we might have a pitch comm issue. Hunter Brown is pointing at Yainer Diaz. What would a first inning be without a pitch comm issue? Pitch comm tech support. Now, yeah, you're going to step off again. Timeout called this time by Naylor. And if you're Josh Naylor and you feel like they're a little out of sync, maybe poke the bear a little bit with your timeout.
Well, hitters they can't control at bats like they used to before pre-pitch clock. So why not call that timeout after a little pitch comm issue?
Because you have to be, as we learned from Jose Caballero's stuff this year, you have to be locked in at 8 on the pitch timer. But here is the arsenal you're talking about. The slugging of 250 against the fastball is something the Mariners have challenged already.
Yeah, and by the way, it's gotten better too, by the way. He's cleaned that up lately in the month of August. It takes it a little bit of time coming back from especially a shoulder injury. Doesn't tell the whole story. He's coming off an outing against San Francisco where, you know, Bummer, you watched it. He labored a lot of soft contact.
Yep.
But a lot of contact in general. It wasn't the same swing and miss.
No, that's where the ABS is. I still feel like he's trying to get used to where the top of the zone, because now with the ABS, it's going to continue to move. It's not going to be a static top of the zone that he's used to pitching with that four-seam fastball and riding it up through the zone and getting the chase.
And with that, what the zone being in a rigid box has done to hitters and how much they have locked in on swinging at only strikes.
Yeah,
nowadays.
as a hitter, you've got to feel like you've got the top part of the zone back from a guy who used to just wear you out at the top of the zone. And you can compete with it by challenging it.
1-2, punch to right field. Wade trots in to make the catch. But Randy Arozarena has given the Mariners the early lead in this rubber match in the very tight American League West. Time for the starting lineup for the first place Astros, presented by Capital One. They are third in Major League Baseball, entering today in home runs. Yordan Alvarez and his 36 are a big part of that in the 2 spot. He'll follow Jeremy Pena, and they'll all face Bryan Woo. And sometimes home road splits are, you know, odd, noise. He's been wildly different home and road, Ryan.
One of the best pitches in the game at home by far, and then one of the worst when you talk about qualifiers on the road. It has been drastically different for Bryan Woo.
He's off to the races here. Ground ball to third. Donovan handles it. Brendan Donovan for out number 1. So why do you think it is?
You know what? Talking to Bryan Woo, talking to some of the staff down here, it's something that, you know, it's definitely a psychological thing that you can create early on. There was a start against the St. Louis Cardinals where, man, they were getting on him quick, jumping on him, gave it up. And then all of a sudden, the next road outing, he wasn't the same. He's pitching away from contact a little bit. And I think it snowballed. However, his last outing against the Yankees, he kind of turned the corner a little bit.
First one to Yordan Alvarez, the presumptive American League MVP. You see, he is a Triple Crown threat, not only in the American League, but in Major League Baseball overall. And Woo, who had that very nice start against the Yankees you're talking about, Ryan, starts him away with ball 1. That is a golf shot in the air to left field, but it will stay in the park. Out number 2.
I mean, he just looks so comfortable on any pitch, any count, righty, lefty, a swing, literally every time, Bummer. I mean, it's amazing to watch.
Let's be honest, if we were all a 6'5" Adonis, we would feel pretty good in the box too. But then you add the cerebral part of it. He thinks through at bats. He's anticipating pitches. He does a great job of doing his homework. And if he ever, the only flaw, if he ever figured out how to just jump into the Crawford box every once in a while, he would be that much more of a threat. Because his real power is to that left center field side all the way to the pull side on the right side. But yeah, he's fun to watch.
He's just been a machine all year long and beyond, as Paredes, who, speaking of the Crawford boxes, you want a pull hitter, you want a guy who can use left field here, from the right hand side, here you go.
Here's your prototype. stand on top of the plate, open up, try and hook everything into that Crawford box. He is definitely a guy that elevates to the pull side with joy here in Houston.
I mean, he's been traded a handful of times, but it's funny how baseball brings you home to the right place. This fits for him and his profile and what he likes to do. Isak Paredes, a little piece of it foul. Was it you, Ryan, who asked Joe Espada in our meeting, like, going up other way a little bit? And he was like, yeah, basically by accident.
Right. Well, I noticed that a couple times, a little two-strike. He's not just stepping in the bucket, selling out, trying to do that right there, what we're watching this home run. But a little bit more of that, I'm not going to call it defensive, but just trying to shoot that ball to right field. I noticed it a couple times. I had to ask Joe Espada. He said, hey, kind of by accident. He's not like he's
there's not much
2 o'clock in the afternoon working on that. And why should he too? I mean, he does so much damage to left field.
That's a little more traditional Isak right there. There's a Jim Beam club down the left field side that we want to change to the Isak club because he's constantly hitting balls down the left field side. But to Joe's point, it's been in 2-strike opportunities and it's been in RBI situations where he's kind of gone up the middle the other way.
0-2 coming here, and that's a 1-hopper. 1-2 on Paredes.
Jeff, Ryan, you guys both know as baseball players, it doesn't matter what you do. You could be the MVP and someone's still going to try to break you down and say, oh, you need to do this more, you need to do that more. So Isak pulls the ball in the air. That's his strength. And I'm sure a lot of people are saying, oh, you need to go the other way more. No, you don't. Just keep hitting home runs to the left. Keep doing your thing, and you're going to be just fine. Play to your strengths.
Well, I feel like somebody who knew how to stand on top of the plate, Rizzo, would know what he's talking about.
Every once in a while, I got lucky and ran into one.
Oh, come on.
That's a lot of luck.
Did you teach him how to stand this close to the plate? You talked to Paredes about this, Riz?
Well, for me, I always wanted to make guys uncomfortable. And when you're on top of the plate, if Wu tries to go in, he needs to make sure he gets it in there properly. If he misses a little bit, that's what Isak wants.
He'll reach out and flick this into left center field. As we know from Sunday Night Baseball the last 2 weeks, when the Astros are hitting, don't tell a long story. When you're in the American League West and those doors open, you don't know what you're going to find. That was 3 games back, the Athletics. That was in June. Now, this town ain't big enough for the 3 of us because the Rangers have beaten the Mariners 7 times, the Astros have beaten the Rangers 9 times, and the Mariners have beaten the Astros 8 times. Wow. How does that happen? How? Every team has another team that's a cactus to them in this division.
You got me and Ryan looking at each other going, who wants to tackle this?
Well, look, I look at the Mariners' time versus the Astros, and we talked about in the first inning. They ran into a completely different, 3-game, pitching matchup situation that they did back in. I'm going all the way back in April. And again, the Mariners have not had a run really all year. They had an 8-game run. And around that time, everyone's like, okay, they've turned the corner. They've just had to look uphill and climb. And I feel like every time they've ran in to a situation where they're trying to get on a run, it's some AL West team beating them up.
The ground ball to first base, and Christian Walker handles number 1. So these are the odds to win the West according to Fangraphs. Opening day was the Mariners at 60%. July the 19th, it was the Mariners at 57%. Tonight, it's the Astros at 56%. But you know what? It's like Midwest weather. Just wait a day and it'll change.
No, that's a really good point. And to Ryan's point, I don't feel like any team in the West has gone on a run and just run away with this thing. And the second you think that you are about to go on that run, you run into a buzzsaw like the Astros did coming out of the break, playing the Baltimore Orioles, where we were, they sneak into first place or right near it, and all of a sudden you get swept by Baltimore and you're like, oh, season's over. Yeah. We've got no chance. The Rangers come in, they sweep the Rangers, hey, we're back. It's crazy.
But that's the whole American League, right? The middle of the American League, the Orioles just swept the Rays today in 3. Now Baltimore is the final playoff team. It has been bonkers. And speaking of, the Cal Raleigh season is going to be studied for decades to come, whether or not anybody wants it to happen. Riz was talking about it though in the open, and I think it's a good point. If you turn it on now, it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah, man, look, this has been something that nationally, not just up in the Northwest, but nationally, everyone has mentioned studying it, trying to break it down from the swing, from the approach, from the mental side of it, taking, taking on the team, the disappointing team load on his shoulders, and all this to go along with it. But man, no one is feeling it more than the man we're watching on the screen right now in Cal Raleigh.
It is just so stark. 60 home runs, 51 hits, and it's been a lot of high fastballs, not only in this series as there's a breaking ball. But Riz, if you're Cal here, you gotta be, the way people have pitched him, thinking high fastball, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he knows. He knows the numbers. He's a catcher. He's behind the plate. He knows the scouting report. He knows he's chasing up right now. And it looks like he's just trying to make up for lost time. He's trying to make up for maybe the lack of production. And you grip the bat a little bit harder. And it's not easy. I've been there too many times in my career. Bloomer, I'm sure you've been there as well, where you're just trying to make up for a bad few days or bad few weeks, and it just spirals. So for him, he's such a leader on this team that the guys on the inside say he's carrying himself with pride and dignity, and that's all you can ask for out of your leader.
3-2 is a taken high fastball. It's the two-seamer for strike three.
You know what, too, with Cal, there was a loss in New York, the series right before this, and he came and addressed the media. He talked for well over 10 minutes, basically on behalf of the team. Not on behalf of him and his struggles, but just on behalf of the team. I think what he was trying to do was take on, some of the, obviously, the blame of some of the disappointment and the frustration. But, man, you think about it, too. We talked about this during the MVP run last year. You're touching every part of this team. Pitching, obviously the defense, offense, you're in the middle of that lineup. The team leadership as well in the clubhouse. You have that rapport with your manager. So just so many different facets that you are underperforming, and it's tough to show up every day and feel like you're going to be that team leader.
At the end of the day, too, he has to remember he is Cal Raleigh. He has the big contract. He has the extension. He's been here before. He's a guy before the 60 home run season has not hit as well average-wise, but he's always hit the home runs. So it's been a grind, but that's what it is this year for him, boys.
For free to earn profit boost the next day. Download the Sportsbook app now to play your game. Dalton Varsho coming up after Jose Altuve, who is third in games played, third in total bases among all other categories for the Houston Astros. He's been through so much, so many losing seasons at the outset, and then a World Series champion a couple times over. Jeff, for people who don't know him, what's he like? Why is he so important?
Because he is as steady as it goes. He's a guy that will get 4 hits, and I'll show up on the field the next day and go, hey, what'd you see yesterday? Did you do anything mechanically to get better? And he'd be like, you got girls, what was it like when your daughters were 4? And I'm going, wait a minute. I asked you about 4 hits. He wants to talk about his girls and my girls and family and things like that. He's just a guy that loves playing the game, but he's also a guy that's got a really good idea of how life is, that it's hard, it's every day. He's been through so much adversity with the success that he's gotten that I think it's kind of put things in context for him. But he's a guy that you can count on every day, and I think he's a lot of fun to watch because he will hit pitches in the middle of the plate, he'll hit pitches in the other's box, and you really don't know what you're going to get from day to day.
Friday night, speaking of that, I mean, this is late in the game in the 10th inning. 2 strikes, Jeff.
2 strikes. He chases a pitch. It's got to be about 1.5 feet off the outside plate. He's 5'6". He doesn't have 6'4" arms, but he's able to cover the plate. And I think he's a guy that over the years, we calculate about 600 of his hits have been out of the zone. He's remarkable at getting the bat to the ball.
And that's why that strikeout is impressive for Brian Wu. He just whistled 98 top of the zone past Altuve.
Well, we talked about the home road splits. Now I want to go back to that last outing against the Yankees. And one thing they said to him is that, look, we're not out here trying to get comfortable, trying to get in good counts. We want you to empty the tank straight out the gates. If you go back to that last outing against the Yankees, going into Yankee Stadium, the velocity was up. It was 98, 99. There was no giving in whatsoever.
Dalton Varsho, first pitch, fly ball right center field, and Julio Rodriguez.
And this is really important. Again, when we talked about what he had done on the road, he was pitching a little bit more timid, away from contact. But this is a great start, getting some quick outs and getting that heater to the top of the strike zone with some good velocity on it too.
Oh man, you can get some quick outs with the Astros. Trust me.
Jeff, I mean, it's everything that a 7th grader wants in a book report study guide. It's just, hey, I don't need to hear all about great expectations. Just tell me what happened at the end. 2 out, Christian Walker, who was the hero on Friday night with the home run to left to beat the Mariners. It's amazing the difference between these two offenses, though, because you see the Astros from any view, they're a very aggressive group. The Mariners are as well, but they will chase out of the zone quite a bit, and it leads to Brian Wu, a strike thrower, and then Hunter Brown, who would like a little bit more chase. It's actually a pretty good matchup for both guys tonight.
For sure. And as this game goes along, look, talk about the heater all day long, but Emerson Hancock exposed some of this chase. It's from the Houston Astros last night. He got that sweeper working. And that's a pitch that he had early on. He hasn't had it a whole lot of late. I think for Brian Wu, as this game goes along, that sweeper and slider are going to be big.
You know what? The fastball has been crackling so far. 9-pitch inning for Wu. That's 19 in 2 innings tonight in Houston. Sunday Night Baseball, the place where you can hear some of your favorite team voices in a totally new environment. Being roasted by Anthony Rizzo downstairs inside the pitch. Ryan Rowland-Smith, Jeff Blum, Jason Benetti, our entire crew is so glad to have you along from Dyken Park in Houston, as here is Brock Roden, who made his major league debut on Friday and had a huge game-tying hit as he stepped in the box late.
He's got the whole family here. Sisters, mom, dad, all from Oklahoma. But no, big double, tied that game up. What a moment for him.
That's only about maybe a 6-hour drive from Durant, Oklahoma down here into Houston. So
yeah,
good for them being able to come down here and watch. That was a big hit.
Yeah, that was huge.
Brian Abreu
tied the game at 5 on Friday night as the 3-0 is in there for a strike. The story in the Seattle Times about Brock Roden growing up on the family farm was unbelievable.
We talking the bull and his grandfather?
Yes, his
PVC pipe.
That's exactly the one. I mean, what a Mad Lib. Swing and a miss, 3-2. As the story goes, Brock was 17, and there was a raging bull on the family farm that was going after his grandfather, Reedy. And Brock didn't know what to do, so there was nearby, as Ryan said, PVC pipe. And he went after the bull and hit the pipe on the bull to draw the bull's attention.
Put it this way, I was in the dugout when he was telling the story. And
he's going to walk here, which is much easier to do than what we're describing.
But he's in the dugout, and we're asking him what's it like having your family here, the call up, and he's kind of given that rookie, the cliche answer, doesn't want to say the wrong things.
Just here for the boys.
Right, that's it, correct. Yeah, just trying to give my team a chance to whatever. And then all of a sudden, Perry Hill comes and reminds us, the infield coach for the Mariners, hey, has he told you about the bull yet? And we're like, well, hold on a minute. He goes into detail, and he's using terminology I got no idea. I didn't grow up on the farm. But I was like, Brock, man, you got to lead with this story. This is a big deal. But it was pretty intense.
I mean, he's 5'7", 170 right now. So at 17, it's not like he was 6'3" going after this bull.
Yeah, right.
You got to be tough as nails to be doing this.
Or
crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. 1-1 to Donovan.
Yeah, but that would explain the slow heartbeat in the box.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not phased. Taking PVC pipes to bowls in the offseason.
Roden at first. 2-1 for Donovan, who's a big get back in this lineup from the injury for a couple of months. He was out with that groin strain in April, and then he aggravated in May.
He had a chance to lead off last night, and first time he was hitting down the bottom of the lineup, just trying to get right. He's spent a lot of time on the IL. He's had some groin issues, some lingering stuff that went on in the offseason, but the catalyst of this lineup, this is what they wanted: him at the top, the bat-to-ball skill, and just that pesky at-bat. Finally gets a chance to lead off last night, gets 3 hits, a couple RBIs, and absolutely huge to get some life and some contact into this lineup.
But that was kind of the idea, picking up a Brendan Donovan and Taylor Ward out there in left field, guys that could grind out some at bats.
Or failing that, you just go to AAA Tacoma and get the Bull Wrangler.
That's right.
Ward out again today, 4th straight game that he is not in the lineup with a hip issue. 3-2 is high. It's ball 4. 2 walks here in the 3rd. Randy Arozarena, who homered earlier, will bat. It was very kind of Ryan Rowland-Smith, who you see in that baseball card on the right, to let us know he didn't grow up on a farm in the South, but his accent will also tell you that. Anthony Rizzo is downstairs. Jeff Blum, Ryan Rowland-Smith, our entire marvelous crew. Riz.
Jason.
2 walks in a row. Randy Arozarena, pretty aggressive hitter. Where's your mind in the box after a mound visit, after 2 walks?
I'm being really aggressive right here. It's, hey, let's get back in this. Let's establish. He just took him deep on the fastball, so I would expect him to start him with something soft. That's what probably Randy's thinking as well. But for me, if I was the pitcher, I'd be going hard again just to establish the fastball and get back into the strike zone.
Blummer, where's your mind?
I'm throwing a 2-seamer in off the edge. And like Riz, I'm saying I'm coming in firm, and I'm letting you know that I'm going to try and get to that inside corner a little bit to hopefully open up the outside a little bit later in the at-bat. But we got a pitcher up here, too.
Well, there is no lonelier feeling, man, when you don't have that feel for 2 of your pitches, the curveball and the heaters, 2-seam or 4-seam. There it is.
Inside, getting a ground ball to second base. Allen, the flip. The turn won't come. It is 1 out, but exactly as you guys were talking about, just trying to drill bit inside.
Right. And Blummer, look, you mentioned the 2-seamer too. I feel like this is a little safety net for him. He was trying to get that swing and miss when he really broke out, and all of a sudden he's got this in the back pocket to get that weak contact, especially when the hitter's going to be aggressive.
It seems like that's the new trend in the league, where a guy takes you deep and catchers now are just going straight back to the pitch that he hit a home run off you on. And as a hitter, you're questioning yourself, oh, he's not going to throw me that again, is he? And then you think about it and you overthink about it sometimes, but you always just got to stay on your pitch. Oh, that was a nasty 2-seamer from Brown there.
There goes Arozarena. Throw down to second base. In time. A buzzsaw from Diaz takes down Arozarena, barring a replay review.
Great catch and throw by Yiner. This ball tailing up the line, and Jeremy Pena does a great job staying with it and getting a tag on that back leg. That's a huge play right now.
Oof. Is it ever?
And for Hunter Brown too, you're trying to feel your way through some of these pitches. You get that little 2-seamer in, get a guy thrown out. Now you can take a breath and just execute. Just a little bit more breathing room right here to make some pitches.
Against Dom Canzone. Who lines it to right center field, a base hit. Canzone is 2 for 2, and it's 2-0 Seattle. Happy birthday, Dom Canzone.
Well, we talked about this in the open, the fact the Mariners haven't had that good run or good momentum offensively, but a lot of 2-out hits. All of a sudden they come to Houston and things start to change. A lot of 2-out hits last night before they blew it out. But Dominic Canzone coming up big all of a sudden and not letting Hunter Brown get off the hook.
Both these teams are hyper aggressive tonight at the plate.
It's a tough out month of August. This is where Julio all of a sudden wakes up. He's been crushing. slugging over 700 against righties in the month of August.
Former Rookie of the Year in 2022, who's 8 for 25 career against Hunter Brown. And 7 of the 8 hits are on fastballs, so he gets a nasty curveball there. Yikes.
Wouldn't mind him doing that again. Julio likes to get those arms extended. He's obviously a supreme athlete. But yeah, his months of August have been fantastic. It's amazing he gets off to slow starts.
Runner goes again. Strike 3. That throw won't matter. Diaz won't be able to cut down a second runner because Rodriguez is out, but Canzone pays it off with a 2-out RBI. 2-0. As Brentford hosts Spurs to kick off a new season. Don't miss the drama of opening weekend at 12:30 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. American League standings go like this. In the AL West, it's the Astros by 2.5 over the Rangers, 5 over the Mariners. Seattle's hanging around as well in the wild card. They're 3 games back at 58 and 66. Yankees and Red Sox look pretty well secure, but you never know in the AL, and the Orioles are in that 6th spot right now. This is the fewest wins by a division winner in the divisional era. That Padres team that our pal Jake Peavy was on last week and Jeff Blum fled the scene of in 2005 at the trade deadline is still the worst division winner in the majors ever.
Yes. Didn't get a ring for that.
No, you got a ring for the other thing you did.
Yep.
Good play. Good work if you can find it.
Yeah, but that was incredible, realizing that you're going to win a division at 82 and 80. I mean, I thought the wild card being expanded would bring in more teams at that 500 level, not division winners.
Yeah.
But we have a whole host of teams in play in the American League right now, as it's 2-1 to open this bottom of the 3rd on Lamont Wade Jr. Good fastball from Wu. 2-2. Ryan, you were talking about that fastball, and it has been outstanding so far tonight.
Yeah, I think there's a situation, and again, going back to that last outing, just more urgency early on. Not waiting for 2 strikes to go for the throat.
And then the slider, strike 3, 7 up, 7 down for Brian Wu.
So he throws the 2 different breaking balls, the slider and the sweeper. The sweeper was a pitch last year, man. Had that breakout year, all-star campaign. And a lot of people talk about how effective the sweeper was, getting a ton of swing and miss, but he hasn't had the same consistency. So he's had to lean more on the traditional slider as well to go along with it. But I think as this game goes long, 2nd time, 3rd time through the lineup, it's going to be a factor.
First hit for the Astros, Yainer Diaz. A 1-out single here in the 3rd.
One thing I've absolutely loved about Cal Raleigh and playing against him and seeing him from afar was when his guys have the good fastball, he is not scared to throw down the old #1. I know it's PitchCom now, but he just relies on his guys. Says, hey, your fastball's better than them. Just here you go.
You know what's interesting about that too, Riz, to your point. Now, Logan Gilbert got really, slider heavy. When Cal came back off the IL, all of a sudden there was a big uptick in hitters. And Cal said to Logan, I asked Logan, I said, what's this all about? How come you're throwing so many more fastballs all of a sudden? He said, man, it's Cal. Cal's like, hey, look, I've been watching on TV while I've been doing my rehab. And it's like, your fastball is good. You got to establish that pitch. You got to make that more a priority. And so all of a sudden the fastball usage went up. And that was because Cal was kind of trusting the fact that he could get on some hitters with that heater.
No, and you see it right there too. He goes right back to the fastball. Just because you give up a hit on it, go back to the well. That's your best pitch.
Ground ball right at second base. Cole Young for Josh Naylor, double play. 2-0 after 3. T-Mobile, America's best network, connects you to America's pastime. 2-0 Seattle here in the top of the 4th inning from Daikin Park in Houston, where Josh Naylor, Cole Young, and Cal Raleigh will bat here in the 4th. First pitch, strike 1 for Naylor. Ryan, you mentioned the slug for Josh Naylor can grow. Certainly, he's got 10 homers this year, but he's been extraordinarily active on the bases with 23 bags this year.
Still, I mean, it's something that you see teams start to get on a little bit more.
Line to center field, and a diving play out there by Varsho. Let's see, he did make the catch, they say.
Looked like from here on the field level, that ball bounced, fellas.
Yeah, I think it did too.
Oh,
he didn't get it under
baby.
there. Wow. I felt like the same thing up here. It's kind of the vantage point we had, but Varsho getting the glove underneath it.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's a lot of the reason they picked him up at the trade deadline. It wasn't a major move, but it was a good move by the Astros, picking up some defense.
What a play.
That's a brilliant effort by Varsho, who has been known to do that, as you mentioned, Jeff. I mean, he has made maybe one of the most phenomenal plays in Major League Baseball this year in center field in Toronto. If you haven't seen this thing, look at this. I mean,
I don't even know how he stayed with it.
What is it? Normally it's a big top over
He looked
here.
upset with himself too. Unbelievable.
And the look at the tail end of like, phew. And then he cracks a smile like 10 seconds later.
Was that relief, or he was just stunned that he actually caught that thing? It was unreal.
I used to tell guys all the time when they got the first, can we all just collude and not dive for balls until the 7th inning? almost like the NBA, where they don't play defense till the 4th. That's what everyone says. Pitching's hard enough. Can we all just get our hits, right? Everyone makes their money, and then in the 7th, you go for the win. No one really bought into it, though.
That's too bad. I think in the next CBA, you put that in there.
Yeah.
That's a called strike, bottom of the zone, 2-2. Here's Dalton Varsho from last year.
Making some eye contact with some teammates. See if we get a little smirk here. There we go.
There it is.
I'm not sure what the difficulty level was on that one. It's when you go to catch probability that says 90%. Like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, if you're upright, it should say. I mean, I don't know how in the world you stay with that thing, and then the backhand pull in is just nonsense.
Just speaks about his athleticism. I mean, he came up as a catcher with the Diamondbacks, and then he goes out and plays center field, a Gold Glove caliber center field.
Ground ball to second, 2 away. Cal Raleigh coming up after this.
Let's take a look at Capital One checking accounts. We're talking no fees, no minimums, just one question. What's in your wallet?
Anthony Rizzo downstairs, Jeff Blum, Ryan Rowland-Smith, Jason Benetti, our entire crew here in the top of the 4th in Houston. 2-zip Mariners, and there is a high fastball to Cal Raleigh.
This at bat's going to tell me watching if Cal's trying to do too much, because he struck out his first at bat. So if anything close here and he starts chasing, that just tells you he's just trying to put the ball in play.
I mean, he's seen this act before, right? He is top 5 in Major League Baseball in fastballs above the zone seam.
Yeah, and that was that pitch, man. You made a mistake last year, something straight, middle of the plate, and it elevated. He was getting all over it.
Oh, there's some easy takes with some of these pitches.
Yeah, this is what he's seen. You see the swing percentage above the zone. That's a big jump.
Yeah.
From last year. He'll take that one. That's 4 straight above the zone, out of the zone. And it's the 3rd walk for the Astros' Hunter Brown tonight.
I tell you what, he's really trying to feel it. That release point to that 4 seam. Anything up, he's missing. He's been bailed out by that sinker that Again, we talked about that pitch a couple of years ago when he had that big breakout. You can see it written all over his face too, just trying to labor through these first couple of innings.
So he goes to the breaking ball and misses up there. Ball 1 to Weston Wilson.
Yeah, that's why Yainer Diaz is going out there, have a little bit of a conversation, try and calm Hunter down. I personally, it feels like it's a mechanical issue. There's a separation between the upper half and lower half to where the arm just doesn't get to where he wants it to be.
I keep going back to that shoulder injury, man. They are so tricky. Look, I'm not saying an elbow injury is any picnic, but the shoulder injury, and you've seen this across the board. Lance McCullers Jr., former Astro, he talked about that just that angle, trying to get that angle back when you're dealing with a shoulder issue. George Kirby had to deal with that last year. The angle drops a little bit. You're kind of working your way as you rehab him around the injury, and then all of a sudden it takes a little bit to get that good feel. You can see it right now, man. He is really battling to try and find it.
As a hitter too, watching the game, if you're paying attention from the dugout, Hunter Brown just called out Diaz, told him to come to the mound. So for me, that tells me he is grinding to throw a strike. So you have to be ultra aggressive down the middle, where just don't chase, but you know strikes are going to be pretty much down the middle, so he can get his feel back right now.
You remember too, there was a time last inning, maybe 2 innings ago, that Hunter Brown looked out. There was what we thought might be a pitch comm issue, but they weren't on the same page, certainly. 2-0, rides inside. That's ball 3.
And when you're going through this and you're just not getting any bites at all on any pitch,
praying that somebody chases one.
Just some weak contact in on the ground. Get me out of this inning. Press the reset button.
3-0 is ball 4, and a huge spot for Brock Rodden, the rookie for the Mariners, with 2 on, 2 out.
Yeah, last year for Hunter Brown, that walk rate maybe around 7.5%. This season continues to climb. It's coming into this game, it was over 13%. But back-to-back walks with 2 outs has got to be extremely frustrating.
And there's another ball. That's 9 straight out of the zone.
And to Riz's point, these are relatively easy takes. They're big misses out of the zone. It's not as if you're making the swing decision tough for these hitters.
Again.
And you're just searching this here change up, just trying to change up just the pace, the sequencing when you're going down the mound.
This is when the pitch timer comes into play
100%.
too.
I was about to say, look, I know we're a couple years into it, but this right here, man, this makes it so much tougher when you got that pitch clock.
I used to tell pitchers all the time, man, step off. Let that pitch clock get down to 1. Step off, reset. Even right now, 2 strikes. I'm sorry, 2 outs. You have Cal Raleigh on third base. He's not going to steal. Use both your step offs to regain that 40 seconds to a minute breather.
3-0. I mean, Hunter Brown's been through it, right? His sophomore year at Wayne State, his first 16 innings, he had 0 strikeouts. And he's turned into a major league pitcher from a D2 school all the way here to the mound in a pennant chase. So he's going to find it. He just did there. Not that time, though. Ball 4. Rodden is on. Bases loaded, 2 out for Donovan. Let's see what Joe Espada and company want to do here. They're going to have a mound meeting with pitching coach Joshua Miller. Bases loaded, 2 out. They'll have the conversation with Hunter Brown. The bullpen starting to loosen. Top of the order after this word.
Craving more baseball? Just tell Siri, show me today's MLB schedule.
I know the feeling for Hunter Brown. Before the game, I said to myself, it's not Alan Rodin, it's Rodden. And then I called him Rodin anyway. So now everybody has a night. Bases loaded, 2 out. Brendan Donovan, the batter, after the walk from Rodden, the 5th walk for Hunter Brown so far tonight.
Here, when you're a hitter, this is a tough situation. You got to be aggressive, right? You can do some damage here on the first pitch. You know he's grinding, but you also want to keep him grinding and work the count. So it'd be interesting to see how Donovan approaches this at bat.
First pitch, right there, a strike. Deep breath. 0-1. Fouled away. 0-2.
Maybe a little anger behind that one, getting to 97.
The angry fastball we used to call it. I hope he goes back to it. Just keep going to the well on the fastball. It's your best pitch. Get him in swing mode, and then maybe you could break off a slider in the dirt or a curveball in the dirt.
0-2. Oh boy, if the first one was an angry fastball, that was an irate fastball. He did not miss by much.
That was either a great take by Donovan or he knew he had no chance on it.
1-2. Inside a two-seamer. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Donovan.
And the hard thing is too with Brendan Donovan at the plate, he's not a swing and miss guy. Has a ton of bat to ball, so you know it's just going to be pesky.
I think he went no stride right there with 2 strikes.
Yeah,
too.
he does that. When he gets deeper in the count, there's just no stride. Straight throw the bat at it.
There's that slider Riz was talking about.
Huge at bat. Series on the line. Mariners trying to claw back in the AL West. 2-2. Brown to Donovan. Strike 3. No challenge. Oh boy, that might have been worth it there in a huge leverage spot. The Astros get out of it. The order again for the Astros. The Mariners have definitely led tonight in time of possession. Offensively, Brian Wu threw his 28th pitch. Here's the strike 3 to Donovan, guys. It is really close.
Wow.
Might have been worth the challenge. It looked like it was slightly up and off.
No, I think considering the situation, right or wrong, that's a great opportunity. How about this?
Pena drive, right field, and the Astros are on the board. Just like that.
Well, just to give a little bit away, we were talking in the break about the Astros getting out of that previous inning without giving up a run with the bases loaded, that this could be a real opportunity. And if it's going to happen for the Astros, if they're going to get that offense going, it has to start with the top. It's a lot to put on Jeremy Pena, but he is worthwhile enough to expect that of him, and that was a big swing.
Riz said it about 30 seconds before we hit air. Anthony, you said, I would bet you that the Astros are going to score here. What did you feel downstairs that got you there?
Just playing this game so long, when you don't take advantage of those moments where you have an ace pitcher like Hunter Brown on the ropes, it just seems like the baseball gods the next half inning come back and penalize you for it, and that's exactly what just happened there. First pitch, home run by Pena, get this offense sparked.
That's some serious power going to right field. And again, we talked about Brian Wu, how good that fastball's been. Second time through, I feel like this lineup is going to be a little bit more aggressive on that.
Alvarez in the air, left center. Rodriguez into the gap. Julio Rodriguez makes the play. There's one down. Back to the homer.
Yeah, that is such a good pitch on a fastball out over the plate. Jeremy Pena getting a chance to show some of that power, driving this one about 6-7 rows deep.
Yeah, Brian Wu's sinker, four seams, about 77% first time through the lineup. Again, I talked about Emerson Hancock exposing some of that chase swing and miss on the 2 breaking balls last night. I think Brian Wu's got to start There it is, mixing that pitch in just a little bit more to this lineup.
This is a great slugging fastball, top of the order for the Astros generally. 1-0 to Paredes, and he takes a well-placed fastball, 1-1. Jeremy Pena, we were talking to him last week on the field in San Diego, and you heard the clip of him if you were with us last week talking about how great Yordan Alvarez is and how he belongs in a different league somewhere above Major League Baseball. But Jeremy Pena is a fantastic story of a young man who went to the University of Maine, and as he told it, Jeff, you know, hood up, snow, wind in your face, all that, but the teaching that he got there as one of his only offers helped build him for this and eventually a World Series MVP very early in his career.
No, it tells you a lot about the character of Jeremy Pena. He's another one of those incredibly talented athletes that can do it all. But at the same time, growing up in the Northeast, he was an early commit to the University of Maine. And he may have gotten a couple of different offers from other schools once he kind of got into that senior year of high school where he started to develop a little bit more. But he said, you know what? The University of Maine committed to me. I committed to them. I'm going to stay there, and I'm going to go be a Black Bear. And it ended up working out incredibly well for him. And that's where he kind of developed into that great athlete that he is, a great ball player that he is. Also taught him how to deal with some elements, too.
He's made it a 2-1 score, 3-2 on Paredes, and he'll ground it foul. It's a fearsome top of the order. Pena, Alvarez, Paredes, Altuve.
And you've gotten to the point where Isak, about halfway through the season, was flipped with Christian Walker to move in behind Yordan Alvarez, which has been a pretty good move. Isak is a guy that's going to lead the league in pitches seen, so he's going to grind out some at-bats. He's got sneaky pop. He'll grab you every once in a while to the pull side. So he's been a nice piece behind Yordan, because you start to face some of these contending teams, Yordan's going to start getting pitched around a little bit and being put on base.
That's a towering pop-up. Wu's thrown 40 pitches, 16 of them to Paredes. 32 bites, 1 champion. Where's this going? Vote for the signature dish you would most like to try. Complete the Ballpark Bites bracket for a chance to win tickets to try these decadent bites at a stadium of your choice. Oh, this sounds good. Vote at MLB.com/bracket. I'd do that.
We were in Dallas earlier this season, and we were served a sombrero of nachos.
Excuse me?
A sombrero.
Wow. Okay. How was it?
It was unbelievable, but I mean, it had to be about 10 pounds of food.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Man, it was unreal. You're right. I mean, I could have worn that thing through the stadium and fed a section.
So you can wear, you can wear the hat, and then the chips are kind of.
My head's a little big, so it fit perfectly.
Wow. Nothing like a good ballpark.
That's a Keats meal right there. I mean, what are we after hearing that?
Yeah, it is. Get you a pretzel and a jug of mystery liquid.
Yeah, there's some good spots around the ballpark for that. So I've heard.
Never poked around down there. This is a great place to watch a game, by the way, Dyken Park. It has been through a bunch of different iterations that you may or may not know about. But they used to have a flagpole in center field. They had an enormous hill in center field.
Yep.
It was awesome when fielders would have to climb the hill.
Oh, how do we feel about losing the hill in center field? Is it consensus? Everyone happy with it, or people miss it?
Well, everybody thought they would be happy with it, but it's actually still played incredibly huge in center field. You still got to drive it about 420 to get it out of here. But the entertainment is gone because, you know, watching guys like Dave Roberts, Lance Berkman, and God bless Craig Biggio. When we got Jeff Kent here and he was forced to play center field, that thing undercut him 3 or 4 times. And he'd come back into the dugout and he'd have these huge grass stains on his knees from just getting cut down. And then I watched Richie Sexson hit a triple about halfway up the flagpole, and it came back in play.
Well, it is your lucky day because we have file footage of Tal's Hill. How about Andrew Jones? This is actually real, folks. If you haven't seen it, it brought Andrew Jones, Hall of Famer, to his knees. There's Lance Berkman, Carlos Beltran.
Amazing.
Just tumbling.
What was the last year? I'm putting someone on the spot right now. What was the last year of the Hill?
It was like 14, 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's exceptional. I mean, you're talking about Andrew Jones, who some would say of this generation, best center fielder out there. Our colleague at NBC has done some games with us. For him to end up not upright on a play takes a whole heck of a lot.
No, it's unbelievable. Watching guys try and navigate that thing was remarkable.
This high fly ball will reach a spot in the field where there is no flagpole, sadly. Cole Young makes the catch, and the inning's over. 2-1 after 4 on Sunday Night Baseball. Baseball on NBC is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Tight one here. Mariners and Astros cozying up in game number 11 of their season. They have 2 remaining in September. Seattle has won 8 of the 10 so far, and that really has put the Mariners in this race. If they had lost maybe 3 more to the Astros, it could be wild card or bust. But you're 5 games back if you're Seattle right now, as a Rosarena will challenge. Oh, check that.
I look like
no challenge.
Turn around the challenge. But you're right. I mean, even this game in itself is a huge game on this road trip for the Seattle Mariners. I mean, even coming into this entire road trip.
Watch a Rosarena here.
Ekes everyone out.
He pulled it back.
No touch.
That makes, I mean.
Did he go?
Right, did he go? Yeah, appeal to third on the challenge. Rosarena slices it to shortstop. Tough play by Pena. Really nice job by Jeremy Pena for out number 1. Now Dominic Canzone, who is 2 for 2 in this game, will stand in, and we'll check in with Ahmed Fareed.
Yeah, Jason, Dominic having a career year, career high in home runs this year. StatCast records swing speed. I looked at his over the last 2 years. He's gone from about league average to the 80th percentile. So I was curious. I asked him, I go, what's your secret? He said part of it is back home in Cleveland. His teammate Luke Raley told him about this place called T3 Performance. It's a training facility. They work on explosive strength training in the lower half. They do mobility work. In 2 years, he told me he has added 25 pounds. He claims all muscle. The results say he's really not lying, Jason. He says he feels as strong and as healthy as he ever has before in his career.
Why do you say claims like that?
Well, I'm just, I didn't verify it. I didn't get.
I believe you, Ahmed. I mean, he's Italian. He's got to get those carbs in, right? Playing for Team Italy, too.
Well, he came into camp this year noticeably different, size-wise, and just from looking at him. And you got to remember too, going back to 2025, he wasn't even on the radar. Look, Victor Robles signed a 2-year deal, and he was sent down pretty early in camp. He came up once in the first half of last year, sent right back down. Then he tore it up in the second half. And by the way, he was tearing up left-handed pitching as well.
Tough curveball, strike 3. How about Hunter Brown after that rough and tumble 4th inning, getting back on the mound and piping strikes and nasty stuff.
And this is huge too. These are the games you remember, right? You come out in that 4th inning where everything speeds up. You go down that tunnel, press that reset button, get that little mechanical cue, that one thing you can lean on. And he comes back out. Man, he is so sharp here in the 5th inning.
Hunter Brown's got that bulldog mentality. He wants to be that number 1 in the rotation. So I like to see, and I'm sure we all do, we like to see guys that respond through that adversity. But going back to what Riz was talking about, getting out of that last inning with the bases loaded jam will give you a little more confidence coming in. You want to have that another shutdown inning and give your offense a chance to come back and answer.
Well, it's a highly caffeinated fastball that he throws, and that is in part the highly caffeinated piece is why they call him the Diesel.
The Diesel, yeah. He loves bringing the fuel. As you see Bennett Sousa getting loose out in that Astros bullpen. No, but there's a malicious intent with his fastball. I mean, there's other words that you use inside the clubhouse, but he really wants to get after guys with that fastball so that he can get to some of that secondary stuff.
I mean, you can just see too, the tempo is completely different. There's some mound presence all of a sudden. I know you guys as hitters feed off that. Remember Mike Sweeney took me into a video room one time and showed me a good version of me and a bad version. He goes, look at this. Look like a lost puppy.
Oh, boy. This was lethal.
Yeah.
Tight one here in Houston. 2-1 Seattle over the Astros. And Christian Walker will lead it off. First pitch, ball 1. We'll batter up with FanDuel as we take a look at their same game parlay. Download the Sportsbook app now to play your game. Yordan Alvarez will come up. If this is a long inning, maybe this inning, maybe in the 6th. But there are a couple at bats remaining for the AL MVP favorite. Jeremy Pena has the lone run for the Astros on a solo shot in the 4th. How do you guys do this every day? Mariners, Astros, the tight AL West. How do you live in this space all year like this has been?
Well, Jason, as you know, and Blummer, you know this as well, covering a team, this job is much easier when your team's performing. Put it that way.
Very true.
But man, I know
previous pitch is called a strike. The hitter is challenging.
We get a challenge here. Trip Gibson with the call. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. It is a strike.
Pitch is a strike. Houston has one challenge remaining.
Yeah, I know from the Mariners' point of view, it's been, the expectation's been through the roof, and there just hasn't been that follow-up. Like you win a series, it's like, all right, here we go. We're starting to find some momentum. And then all of a sudden the offense will fall flat. Or then all of a sudden, you know, one of the starting pitchers who dominated last time out will give up a 5 spot. There's just really been no momentum grown throughout the season at all. It's been an excruciating year to say the least.
Same. It's interesting to say that with the team at the top of the American League West, but at the same time, like Hyphen said, it's been a roller coaster ride. The second you feel like these guys are going to get off and they're going to take off, the Astros just haven't had the rotation to be able to sustain a winning streak, and that's probably been the biggest issue. Is that when the offense has been going, you find that part of the rotation that can't back it up. And when the rotation has found that groove where they put up some good numbers, the offense hasn't backed them up. So it's kind of been a mix and match type season where they haven't been able to go on that absolute run.
Fastball, strike 3. Brian Wu labels the bottom of the zone, and he has 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, staying with that hitter, 97. The velocity is up on that fastball. It's, you know, you're going to question if he starts to go more to the sweeper slider his second, third time through. But tell you what, we talked about Hunter Brown in that 4th inning. I think for Brian Wu as well. Look, Paredes just missed a pitch. Varsho just missed a pitch as well. He gave up the home run. This is a big one to get him right back to how sharp he was early in this game.
I mean, he's only thrown, what, 12 breaking balls out of 54 pitches so far?
And he's tried to land them at times and had to revert back to that 4-seamer. And you see 28, so that sinker to go along with it.
Ryan, I want to ask you, because he's been pretty demonstrative about it on camera, that big exhale from Wu.
Yeah. This is something that the Mariners, I talked to Andres Munoz, has just started doing this with the breath work and stuff. Adam Bernero is one of their mental performance coach, and he talked to Brian Wu last year about that big pitch, that big moment in certain spots. And this is something he was really good at last year, was all of a sudden getting in that jam, you see the bigger breaths and the slowing down. So that was something that he was aware of going into 2025. And again, with the Mariners, they're big on, you know, they'll walk the outfield bare feet. They'll do this breath work. They have this room. You know, George Kirby's taken up painting to throw some things at you in regards to some of the you know, the things to just kind of quiet the mind. And I think for Brian Wu, this is something, again, going back to 2025, the breakout season, slowing the game down. And you've seen him throughout this game, that the big breaths in between some of these pitches.
Got Bob Ross in the rotation, huh?
That's right. That's right.
Line drive, third base, and Donovan reels it in for out number 2. Lamont Wade stung that ball.
I'll tell you what, when I used to be in the dugout, when we would see those big breaths, we'd have all the video. Sometimes those breaths aren't as big on certain pitches. And we were we were all over that. Any little thing that pitchers would do, we would be locked in on the breaths, on balls in the glove if they adjust it. I mean, any little thing we can get, we try to do.
All right, so don't say the player's name, but the weirdest tell you ever had on somebody.
The weirdest tell was I was at first base and there was a player at second base, and I was giving him the signs from first base because I could see in his glove, and then he was relaying it to the hitter.
Wow.
Team sport.
Ground ball, third base. Donovan on the charge, and a great stretch by Naylor to pull it in. We're through 5. We've learned a lot tonight already. 2-1. Sunday Night Baseball on NBC is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And by Progressive Insurance, a grand slam for your budget. 2-1 your score, top of the 6th inning. Josh Naylor, Cole Young, Cal Raleigh coming up to face the left-hander Bennett Sousa on the mound for the Astros, and Naylor was double parked. He goes after the first pitch. Strike 1. This is the part of the order, in part, that the Mariners want a little bit more of, and Sousa, one of many lefties in the bullpen, trying to slow it down.
And with Dan Wilson putting Josh Naylor and Cole Young back to back, both left-handed hitters, it kind of tells you that that might be the pocket that Joe Espada uses some of these lefties on. As Naylor gets on, breaking that lefty-lefty matchup. But
I tell you what, man, Josh Naylor, he has been so good against lefties, especially late. Good swings. I know that ball hit on the ground, but sneaking it through.
There's the OPS comparison from last year to this year. Julio Rodriguez right around there. You mentioned, Ryan, he's likely to heat up in August and already has started doing that. The Raleigh numbers are unavoidable, but as Anthony said off the top of the show, there's still time for the Mariners to figure this thing out.
Yeah, there is. And, you know, flashing up those numbers, if you look as a collective, all 3 of them for the season, I mean, slugging, and the one who really brings us down is Cal Raleigh, but they're slugging as a group 371, OPS 682. But you look at the month of August, and this is where Julio all of a sudden's picked it up. Josh Naylor's picked it up. You know, OPS for Naylor's 977, 971 for Julio. It's just a matter of the 3 big bats getting Cal Raleigh, man. If he can get on a run here for a few weeks, that would really help out this offense.
Ryan, even with Cal not hitting, he's still Cal Raleigh. So when he's in the batter's box, he's still a presence. The pitchers know who he is. They see him everywhere. They see him hit all the home runs. Maybe he's not having that good a year, but he's still a presence every time he gets in the batter's box.
But that's what's tough about those slumps. I mean, as bad as it is for Cal Raleigh, they're not looking up on the scoreboard. Pitching staffs aren't, and going, oh, this guy's 160. I'm just going to fire it down the middle and see what happens. He's going to get himself out. They're still pitching to him as if he is that guy from last season.
No, they're gripping. He's still circled on everyone's lineup card.
Yeah.
That's 100% certain.
Naylor at first, 1-2 for Young. There goes Naylor, strike 3, throw to second, and he is in there again with his 24th stolen base this year. His timing is unreal, Ryan.
Yeah, just getting that. Usually it's that little shuffle go. We've seen this around the major leagues the last couple of years. We saw Juan Soto doing it, but especially Josh Naylor too. And look, he talks about how he watches video pregame, but I don't know how you're watching that much video if it's got Bennett Sousa. What are the chances you're going to be at first base with a guy coming out of the bullpen? But he picks up so many little things, and Eric Young Jr., the first base coach, has been a big part of that as well.
All right, so they have sprint speed now that they measure by StatCast. You see what Josh Naylor did last year: 30 stolen bases, 20 home runs. Here's what makes this so remarkable. The top end sprint speed in Major League Baseball, like the Bobby Witt Juniors, are at 30 feet per second. Josh Naylor's 24. He is, by any metric, quote unquote, slow.
Yeah, he's one of the slowest in baseball.
But his knowledge, and you're saying it, Ryan, the prep is unreal to get to that number with that kind of speed. There he goes for third, and he is out.
Slight hesitation on that first step.
Yeah. We'll see if they want to challenge here. But this is something he did at the end of last year when he joined the Seattle Mariners. He did this 8 times still in third base. And there was a couple times where it was massive, but yeah, you mentioned Blummer too, that slight hesitation. But you have to, you talk about that speed, you have to time that up absolutely perfect. And you see how frustrated Cal Raleigh is knocking him out of scoring position.
Well, that's where I was going to go next is too.
Yeah.
I mean, even though you still have Cal Raleigh at the plate with the runner in scoring position.
Right.
You better be 100% sure about stealing that bag.
It is a fascinating corner of the baseball earth, the Josh Naylor stolen base decision, because if he can turn a single into a double and maybe a triple, you want that on your offense.
Sure.
But there is a risk there with the speed.
Well, and one last little thing on that too. At the end of last year, I remember asking some people from baseball ops. He was a free agent. And I asked him, I said, look, Josh Naylor's a free agent at the end of the year. Does this change his value at all with these stolen bases? I said, no, not really.
Really?
Except for the fact that you know him in regards to, okay, he wants to do that little bit extra for the team. It wasn't something where for him as an individual, it really changed his value, which I found surprising because I was like, man, it can, if you can get that extra bag. But he made it a point last year to be as aggressive as we're seeing.
Raleigh in the air for left field. Alvarez back. He's at the track. He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh up and over. He sent it out by that much.
Crawford Brock's special. It can help and hurt.
Well, we were all talking, he is still a threat. We showed some of the numbers as this game's going along, some of the struggles. But man, if that can kick up the dust a little bit on that swing, on that output, some of that power, put the foot on the gas here for a few weeks, like Riz said, all could be forgotten.
The thoughts going through Cal's head on the hang time on that ball. Okay, you see Alvarez going for it. It's either pretty much a home run or an out. Maybe it hits the wall, but man, that has to feel good for him. What a moment of relief for him, and hopefully that's a big turnaround for him and the Mariners this year.
Just the smile and the little bit of a mental release.
And for that dugout too, man. I mean, I saw him hit a line drive to right field. I was down at the field level just to push a runner over, and everyone was giving him the standing ovation at some point. So that's got to feel good for this entire team, watching their team leader do that.
Well, your teammates will tell you, seeing that, them dap him up, and that tells you how much they care about him and what a leader he is on that team.
Well, Riz, too, you athletes can all say, everybody here can say we're process oriented. Doesn't matter the results. He doesn't care if that's a home run in 1 of 30 ballparks. It feels better that it's not an out.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Oh, home runs are over the yellow line.
Man.
That's all that matters. There's no style points in this game for me.
Yeah, there's an old saying, hits is hits.
No doubt.
Doesn't matter. Tomorrow, that's going to be a 450-foot shot, because that's how it feels inside the mind of Cal Raleigh right now.
Three and 2 for Weston Wilson, and he takes ball 4.
We talked about how big this game was for the Mariners going into an off day to Milwaukee, who they're playing, who is the best team in baseball. Cal Raleigh hitting a home run going into an off day, if this lead can hold, is so much bigger, small picture bigger, and big picture bigger for the Seattle Mariners. Jason, you told me before the game they haven't won a road series since the end of May.
which is wild.
Wild, yeah. And they're still in the playoff hunt.
You know, it's interesting, Riz, on that sequence. That was the 5th of 5 straight sliders they spun him.
That's obviously the scouting report on him facing a lefty, and he just look. The scouting report may say Cal's not hitting sliders well, but when you go to the well too many times on these superstars, they're going to make you pay.
There's a base hit. Rodden at the bottom of the card is on for the 3rd time.
Yeah, offensively, look, they had a really tough series in New York, the Seattle Mariners, but the second game of that series, they started to get some output with the offense. They win 1-0 to come to Houston, and then that first game here on Friday was gut-wrenching. They lost in the 10th inning with Munoz on the mound. As you see the family right there from Brock Rodden, who's making an impact already, but you're starting to see some patterns here. Dan Wilson talked about this before the game. Offensively, you're starting to see a little bit more energy out of this lineup, better at bats.
It's all it really takes for a team like the Mariners. They have the pitching, they have a good back end of the bullpen. If their offense picks up a little bit of swagger, which they're due for, it could be a fun next couple of weeks as well.
The other part of this is just so far tonight, they haven't chased a ton out of the strike zone.
Yeah.
Compared to previous
for sure
weeks, months.
Yeah, and for a team that, you know, lives and dies on the home run, the walk, all of a sudden they weren't taking their walks. Chase rate went through the roof.
Left field side, Alvarez watches it fly foul.
I mean, you had one of the highest chase rates from this team from June 1st onwards, and they simply weren't anywhere close to the top in regards to drawing that walk as well. For a team that obviously lives and dies on that long ball.
Oh, 2 to Donovan, who has one of those 6 walks tonight for Seattle. And that's a ball in the dirt, 1-2. Both teams are as many hands on deck as possible with an off day coming up tomorrow. Bullpen wise, as Cal Raleigh's been ready to catch some pitches for a while now. Left field, Alvarez driven back, still going. He's there to make the catch and retire the side. The Cal Raleigh home run into the Crawford boxes. 3-1 Seattle. Peacock with a game in primetime every Saturday night. On August 29th, it's a SoCal Showdown, San Jose State and USC live on NBC and Peacock. College football just a couple weeks away. Here we go. Brian Wu inside, ball 1 to Nick Allen from the 9 spot, then Pena and Alvarez here in the 6th inning. We are happy to have you along with Jeff Blum, Ryan Roland Smith, Anthony Rizzo downstairs inside the pitch. Jason Benetti along with you. Oh boys, Allen a drive deep to left field and gone. Power out of nowhere from Nick Allen.
Who knew? Previous home run was out at Wrigley Field against the Chicago Cubs, and here the ultimate ambush. The only thing that disappoints me about that is that he didn't give me the Brett Boone father-in-law bat flip.
That is the 11th career home run for Olympic silver medalist Nick Allen. His 2nd career home run was also in this ballpark with Oakland.
And he knew it
right away.
Just hung that fastball right down the middle. Yeah, good time for Cal to come out. Again, this is a crucial stretch of pitches coming up for Brian Wu. We talked about all the fastballs. Pena's already taken him deep to right field. Cal right now, just trying to slow him down. He knows he's frustrated.
I can't even imagine how frustrating that's got to be. You
Right.
think you're going to get ahead with the first pitch fastball, and this happens.
And you know what, too? I mean, Riz mentioned this in the break. It felt like the Mariners are up by 7 because you see Cal, who's been struggling, overcome, go deep, and all of a sudden, you know, you look at this up at the score, they're only up by 2.
There's no better feeling as a hitter than when your dugout is so invested like they were right there for Nick Allen. He's in there dapping everyone up, giving high fives. Anthony Iapoce, the assistant hitting coach, is coming up, giving him the big hug. What a feeling as a big leaguer.
Plummer, your reaction said it all when he hit the ball. I mean, he's known for his defense in Major League Baseball circles. His primary purpose on this team is defense first.
It's maybe to go lay down a bunt, sacrifice himself, play fundamentally sound offensively, and then play great defense. But every once in a while, there's a piece of me who cheers for that guy who doesn't get the everyday at bats to have an impact, and he had a chance with that swing.
Popped up first base. That is Naylor.
Big out right there for Brian Wu here in the 6th inning.
Especially with Yordan Alvarez coming up. It is our universal "this changes everything." Here are the Triple Crown winners in the last 45 years. Miguel Cabrera in 2012, American Pharaoh in 2015. Down the stretch we come. Justify in 2018. That's it. 2 thoroughbreds and Miggy. Yordan Alvarez is trying to add to that list. Now, of the guys that would hit a home run, you would expect Yordan Alvarez. But Nick Allen beforehand makes it possible for an Alvarez home run to tie the game. And Astro fans, to their credit, are anticipating a possible Triple Crown.
Yeah, he's been up in moments throughout the course of this season where the expectation has been put the Astros ahead, get that big hit, tie it up. And he's come through in those situations. And I know in the past, he's had experience against the Seattle Mariners in similar situations.
In postseason games.
Big moments.
Triple Crown standings right now. He's the batting average leader. He's the home run leader. But Junior Caminero is bearing down on him. Dylan Dingler, the Tigers catcher, is 6 runs driven in away. And look, he's a possibility if he goes real nuclear to win the Major League Baseball Triple Crown, let alone just the American League.
Wasn't the last one to do that? I think it was Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, and the names on that list.
They're
Gehrig,
yeah,
Mantle.
It's black and white photos in the Hall of Fame is who it is, who he's comparing himself to.
2-2. Oh, he chased there.
Big time.
That is a rarity on 2 strikes. He's the best 2-strike slugger in baseball. And Alvarez is down on this from Wu.
Again, I know Statcast said that was a curveball. That was a sweeper right there. Look, he got Pena out on that sweeper. 3rd time through, going to pop up. And what a huge pitch to Alvarez. We heard all about everyone pitching him away, away, away. He showed that fastball in and was able. You could see Cal Raleigh's reaction too. Excuse me, right before the pitch, he was kind of giving the non-verbal to say, let's make this pitch. What a huge strikeout.
Ooh. Oh, Paredes gets plunked. There is empathy from downstairs with Anthony Rizzo.
No, I loved it. You get on base percentage, your OPS goes up, everything goes up. You're helping the team. Looked like it wasn't in too bad of a spot in the quad there.
They've seen something here from.
Ooh, Cal got clipped too there.
They've seen something from Brian Wu. Carl Torgerson, the trainer's out, looking at Wu. Keep in mind, too, at the end of last year, there's a huge pivotal series between the Astros and the Mariners. And Brian Wu was starting that first game. He had that pec injury literally in the 6th inning. He was dominating. The Mariners ended up sweeping that series, but looks like he's all good.
That was when Seattle came in winners of 11 of 12.
Yeah.
They then were 14 of 15. And that was really the trampoline that set them off on that course to the ALCS.
Yeah, and to win the first AL West for 20 years. It was a big deal. And by the way, it was like, kind of changing of the guard too. We know about the Astros run here in the last decade.
Wu's going to stay in this game Bizzardo and Spire both are up in the Mariners bullpen. Edward, Bizzardo, Gabe Spire, one righty, one lefty.
The Mariners have the off day tomorrow. Fresh bullpen. Didn't have to use those backhand guys yesterday.
No, Hancock yesterday and what he did going 7 innings to protect that bullpen after that implosion in game 1 of the series was ginormous. It allowed him that freedom to just set those guys down, let them relax a little bit, and be able to use them here in the 3rd game of this series.
1-0 is a nasty breaking ball, 1-1.
There's still only 73 pitches. The 3rd time through.
Two sinkers and a breaking ball. The sequence so far, 2-1.
Again, if you had that good feel for that sweeper, I've only seen it a couple times. Punching out Alvarez with it, a couple other good ones, but besides that, it's been leaning on that fastball a ton.
Popped up. Back of home. Raleigh is there to make the catch. Mariners hang on to the lead, 3-2. Six innings from Brian Wu, 75 pitches all over the strike zone tonight.
Man.
And a big punch out of Alvarez, right?
This is huge. We talked about pitching away. Shows him in on that heater. See Alvarez's reaction, kind of surprised by it. Gets that big swing off. Now he goes to that slider. We talked about the sweeper not being consistent, but man, did he come up with a huge sweeper right there. And how he reacts tells you everything. It speaks volumes when you watch Cal Raleigh catch his ball. You look at Brian Wu. Showing that emotion because of everything he's done in regards to on the road. He has struggled on the road and getting through that inning with the lead intact. And that, I think, is going to be it for Brian Wu, even though the pitch count's still low, but massive 6th inning right there getting through it.
You know, talking to Dan Wilson before the game, his manager, as Brian Abreu is on, a stalwart in the Astros bullpen, he mentioned the intensity of Brian Wu, and it almost looks like, you know, he holds it in. He's got that stare, and here's a pop-up third base side for out number 1 to shortstop and Pena. And then on that final out, it's like the whole outing came out of him.
Yeah, just lets it all out. And again, there's been a lot of frustrations from what he's been doing on the road. He's trying to, you know, the bar has been raised from last year. Had a breakout year. He was healthy pretty much all year except for that last start we talked about in Houston. Didn't get a chance to play, to really pitch a whole lot in the postseason. Turned down the WBC. He wanted to come out and match it this year. So I think a lot, you know, goes into it, but just getting through that inning was huge, and you could see the reaction from him.
Keeps the score 3-2. Dom Canzone, the batter. A good Brian Abreu, Jeff, means what for the Astros?
He's throwing strikes inside the zone. Ball outside the zone. Some of these big misses has been an issue for him. A couple of walks came back to bite him in a game previously in this series, but he's tried to develop a little bit of a cutter to try and get him back on the plate. Because before Josh Hader came back, the expectation was Brian Abreu was going to be that closer. And it might have been a little bit too big of a burden for him to carry, and started to avoid the strike zone or tried to nibble on the edges and avoid contact. He's at his best when he trusts his fastball in the mid to upper 90s and can get to that wicked put-away slider that he has. He has the occasional split or change that he'll mix in there, but now he's using that cutter to get him on the plate.
He misses with a fastball here. It is walk number 7 for Seattle. Next week on Sunday Night Baseball, the Giants are heading to Boston, and that gentleman on the left will get no questions about it at all. Rafael Devers returned to Fenway Park for the first time as a Giant. Special time 3 Eastern. The Red Sox and Wilson Contreras will take on Rafael Devers and the Giants, only on NBC and Peacock. We hope you can join us for that. Anthony Rizzo will be downstairs inside the pitch. Hunter Pence, Lou Merlone will be in the booth. Jeff Blum, for the first time in 3 weeks, won't be on Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah, I need a break from you, man.
Okay.
gosh.
That's going to be in a promo now.
He's been saying that all day, Jason.
Join Jason Benetti. I need a break from you. That is how it will sound. It's been great having you.
Well, it's been great being on here. I mean, we've had our moments, but now to get to share, back-to-back weeks has been fantastic. We go way back.
Way back. We did one inning together of a White Sox game
Way
back in the
back.
day. Yeah. Celebrating your 2005 home run, which people should know about. If you haven't seen it, put it on YouTube. Jeff Blum Home Run World Series. One of the biggest.
Nice.
One of the biggest swings you'll ever see.
You could say I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so you joined the booth, what, for one inning? Was this pre?
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Blum?
This was blowout on both sides. We need to mix up these broadcasts. So Steve Stone, to his credit, that one might creep out of here too.
Fly ball left field. Alvarez back. He's at the track. He's at the wall. And it's over his head off the manual scoreboard. Rodriguez gets extra bases as Alvarez tangles with the scoreboard in left and was unable to haul it in. Second and third in a big spot.
Now we talk about home runs sneaking out of here. Sometimes that manual scoreboard can creep up on you too as it grabbed the glove of Jordan before he could make the catch. Of all the games sitting up here watching, it's amazing what an impact that wall can have on the psyche of players and just plays in themselves.
You even saw Jordan after the ball came down for a half second. He glanced back at the wall as if to look like what happened here.
A little bit of a death stare at that wall, knowing that it impeded the potential catch.
So now second and third, one out. Josh Naylor, the batter, and Alvarez gave it 2 looks out there in left field.
They're shaking that wrist around too.
It's not exactly what you want to see if you're an Astro fan. And to his credit, he doesn't play out there a lot at all. And then you're going to play here. We talked about there's maybe limited opportunities, but at the same time, that you got to find a way to navigate that manual scoreboard.
So now infield in, Naylor the batter. An insurance run is available even with a productive fly out for Naylor. First one to him, line right at first base, and Walker snares it. That was a heat seeker, and there are 2 away.
Man, that ball was scorched off the bat from Josh Naylor.
104.7, and you're playing in. Thank goodness for that big old glove.
Riz, how's that feel at first base?
I'm feeling both ends of the spectrum right now as a hitter and as a defender, but at first base, that's a rocket, man. But Christian Walker is so good over there, and he's been doing it for years. Always admired his game at first base.
What do you like about watching Christian Walker?
How well he goes to his right into the hole. I think he's probably the best in the game at it. It's like he covers so much ground over there.
0-1 to Cole Young. Fouled away 0-2.
Yeah, to his credit, he works his tail off. The Astros have Tony Perez-Chica working with them daily. Tony came over from Arizona with Christian Walker. And at the same time, you may have one of the best infield coaches in the history of the game of baseball in the Mariner dugout in Perry Hill. I had a chance to come up as an expo with Perry Hill as my first base coach and infield coach. If he's not in my career, I don't have the career I've had.
Wow.
Yeah. He taught me how to play first, second, short, and third.
Jason, hearing Jeff Blum say that, every town we go to, there is a handful of guys coming over from the other team that somehow, I said, Perry, where do you work with him? I work with him in AA. That was 2000. And then this guy, I'm like, man, is he not working? Everyone says the same thing. It's unbelievable.
It's the beauty of baseball.
Yep.
How many people a good coach can impact. 1-2 is clipped foul by Cole Young, who had a walk-off in his very first major league game last May against Minnesota in extra innings in Seattle. This is an enormous spot in this game and in this season, honestly.
It is. And you know what, Riz mentioned this in the 4th inning. Hunter Brown, the fact they wiggled out of that with a 0. They're only up by 1 run, man. They need to take advantage of Abreu, some of those command issues we've talked about. Have to get one more run here, some insurance.
1-2 coming. And Did that get the bat or him? Let's see what the call is. They're going to say it hit him. Young is on his way to first base, and the bases are loaded. It came inside. Watch and see where the contact is.
Whoa. Top of that left hand.
I expected a little more reaction.
Yeah, he wore that like a champ right there on the hand, the knuckles, it looks like.
Yeah, knuckle.
Well, that doesn't hurt that much, though, right, fellas? I mean,
here, let's just do it right now.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where you're praying that the third base umpire doesn't say you swung.
Cal Raleigh now, bases loaded, 2 down, first pitch, swing and a miss. It's a high fastball. 0-1. So Anthony, he homered on a slider. How does he counterbalance this diet of high fastballs?
He's got to be ready for it. He looked a little late on that one. Just gear up for the fastball, and he knows he can react to the slider. They know he's going to try to pitch him up. They know it's going to be hard up out of the zone. That's where he's been chasing. He swung out the first pitch right there, up kind of out of the zone. So just be aggressive to your zone right here.
And what's diabolical too is being a switch hitter, having to maintain a swing on both sides of the plate.
This is worth the challenge. It looked high. We'll see if it is high. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. And it is ball 2. It's a great point, Jeff. He doesn't even get to go back to the swing that he just homered with.
Yeah, he hit a home run on the right side on a slider from Bennett Souza. Now he immediately has to go over to the left side, where you're right, the fastball has been an issue at the top of the zone.
To your point too, Jeff, I don't think people at home understand how hard it is to be a switch hitter in this league.
Oh.
The amount of time you're in the batting cage is double. And then on top of that, you have to game plan for all the pitchers and the hitters that you're facing. So, I mean, and he's an Iron Man too. He plays so many catches, so many games. It's just so much credit to Cal Raleigh.
No, that's the part that was fascinating to me last year, is the fact that he was hitting 60 home runs, doing it from both sides of the plate, and catching 150 some odd games. That's unbelievable. And Riz is right. You're 2 different hitters. You're not the same guy from both sides of the plate. So the approach from each pitcher is going to be different, and you've got different weaknesses, different strengths on each side of the plate that you're trying to maintain.
2-2, line foul. He needs a new bat. Ryan, we came on the air with Anthony Rizzo saying, look, if you put it out of your mind, paraphrasing here, and you do something the last 6 weeks, maybe everything's all right. This is one of those spots where he can build on an already good night.
Well, knowing Cal and being around him and seeing the numbers this year as a whole, you all of a sudden get on a run. You get your team to the postseason. You have a couple big at-bats and have a nice run in October. I'm telling you, he's going to get to Thanksgiving with the family and be like, you know what, this was tough. Looking ahead, I had some big moments. I can salvage this year right now, but a lot happens. A lot has to happen here in these next couple of weeks.
Yordan Alvarez sitting with this out in left field on a play he could have made against Julio Rodriguez. Bases loaded. All-Stars in full view in this inning. 2 down, 2-2. Abreu to Raleigh. Popped up. Middle infield. Allen makes the catch. Stretch time in Houston. 3-2. Season kicks off a day early with a Super Bowl rematch as the Patriots face the defending champion Seahawks Wednesday, September 9th on NBC and Peacock. If you want to know what the quarterbacking won't look like in that game, take a look at your screens. This is in the 7th inning, and 7th inning stretch. Every game here in Houston.
Nobody was harmed
This time.
Yep, Benetti was aiming for him, but
thank you. Jeff Blum, Ryan Rowland Smith, our entire crew. Anthony Rizzo downstairs. Peanuts and Cracker Jack, as the song says. The announcers just discard, make everybody's life a little bit better with snacks.
yeah,
During the bottom of the 7th.
You got to have your season ticket. Some of your favorites.
there's a handful.
Yep,
they will get it for sure. Yep.
It's amazing.
I do have to ask. I was thinking about this last night. There's a sign now posted. You don't see it in this booth. There's a sign posted in some of the other booths. Please lightly throw items. What happened, man? There's got to be a story behind this. Did someone launch one?
I'm not sure.
Bizzardo is on out of the bullpen, and this is a nice pick by Naylor over there to feed Bizzardo for out number 1. Was it Aaron Goldsmith?
There's a particular team in the division. It might have been Goldie.
Oh, it could be Goldie.
Was it? Hey, Goldie?
There's a particular. There's another one.
Okay.
A team that comes through here consistently. Benetti likes to call him the Ath.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a certain lefty in that.
I
have seen absolute fuel come out of the booth next to me during some of those games. So that might, I mean, I'm not saying it's him, but
it's not surprising.
It might be.
But Goldie likes to let it rip a little bit, huh?
I'm going to throw Aaron Goldsmith, the Mariners play-by-play TV voice. He isn't a huge fan of tossing them out, right?
Really?
Tossing it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to speak for him, but I just knew he wasn't launching them. But that makes a lot of sense, actually. I hear the.
Well, Aaron's a great guy. He doesn't want to injure someone.
Well, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
He's a professional.
My partner, Todd Callis, is the same way. He's the most wonderful human being ever. And the last thing he would want to do is throw something to somebody who wasn't able to catch it.
1-1 fly ball left field side toward the corner it goes, and that ball is foul. We all are the odd couple with our broadcast partners. Christian Walker, Dalton Varsho know each other from back in the day. Ahmed Fareed.
About coming over from Toronto, said maybe the biggest adjustment for his wife and his 16-year-old daughter was the weather, so they got a place with a pool. Daughter loves that. But before that, yeah, he was living with the Walker family for a bit. Christian Walker, a teammate of Dalton's back in Arizona. I asked Dalton what that was like. He said Christian is strict. Dalton, he is not a take your shoes off kind of guy when you get inside. Christian is. Dalton's not a strict bedtime with the kids guy. Christian is. Dalton told me, he said, I followed all the rules, but if you're wondering why he found his own place so quickly, I don't know. I'm just saying maybe that's part of the reason.
Wow. How about that? 2 balls, 2 strikes on Walker. He was smiling as he said this, I hope.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
He had a great time. He loved the fact that, I mean, because he got traded, as you guys know, it's just your whole life is turned upside down. But he goes, it's a different way to live. And he did it for like a day and a half.
Now Walker's down in a heap. Christian Walker, who, if you missed the first part of the story, opened his house to Dalton Varsho as he was getting settled after the trade deadline. And now Joe Espada and the training staff are going to come out and look at Walker, Blummer.
Yeah, foul ball off that front foot. Got that turbo sinker at 97 from Bizzardo. You see it right here. Cut it a little bit deep, and it's off of Sergeant Holka into foul territory. So that's going to send him limping around a little bit. But I mean, getting back to Christian Walker, it doesn't shock me that somebody that looks like a state trooper would have that kind of discipline inside their household. And expected of even the nicest of guests in Dalton Varsho.
I love the bedtime. Lights out. How about that?
Yeah.
At a certain time. Wow.
Does he play Reveille at 6 a.m. too? Looks like Walker is going to shrug this off and keep going on 2-2. All right, Blummer.
Yeah.
If there's a pitch you don't want to see in the batter's box after that foul ball.
That exact same pitch. If I love it when pitchers will go right back in, not as a hitter, but as a pitcher, I love it when they throw that same pitch. Just go with the turbo sinker in, maybe a little bit more in off the plate, because the last thing you want to do is foul that ball off the same spot.
2-2, here we go. Swing and a miss on a sinker. It was downstairs, same pitch though, 2 gone.
Oh, for the Mariners too, look, we talked about the starting pitching in the open. The bullpen though, Bizzardo has been bit by the home run ball. And this is a big out right here. The sweeper hasn't been the same. Bizzardo hasn't been going to that pitch a whole lot. So that sinker, man, that has to be that big weapon, that ball you mentioned that ran in on Christian Walker.
Now Lamont Wade Jr., who fouls the first pitch off. He does have some power in this bat. He had a career high 18 homers 5 years ago with that upstart 107-win San Francisco team. Oh, and 2. Bizzardo on for Brian Wu, who was really good, Ryan.
He really was. And again, we talked about the struggles on the road. The four seam was a big weapon. And I love it when guys can somehow break through with their biggest weapon, their strengths, lean in on it. Now, we talked about that sweeper, but we didn't want to get to a situation where he felt like he had to throw a ton of sweepers. He was fastball heavy at the top of the strike zone. Swing and miss was back. Really big night for him and this team. Now he's done it back-to-back too. The 5 innings in New York, which was dominant. Velocity was up.
Wade serves this to center, a base hit on a fastball. And the Astros have the tying run over at first base. The Mariners have done so much right tonight.
Yeah.
And are up by a run with the tying run at first.
Right, and you still have a situation where you are going to match up. Blummer was talking about Pena at the top lineup, and then of course Alvarez, who's looming a couple hitters away. Now, again, going back to the 4th inning, had that Hunter Brown where you could have really knocked him out of the game. They didn't do that. And then with Abreu 2 in that 7th, you don't want that to come back and haunt you late in this game because you only got that 1-run lead.
The Mariners lefties in the bullpen generally are substantially better against lefties than righties. So if you want to match up with Alvarez, you do have to pay the tax for that.
Yeah, and look, Gabe Spire, he's had a little back issue of late.
Right at third, Donovan soaks it up. And the inning is over. Some interesting strategy on the horizon. For now, it's 3-2 Seattle to the 8th. Initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, scan the QR code or go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Rubber match of a 3-game series. The Mariners are 5 games back of the Astros in the AL West, but trying to tighten up this race by 1 game. This one's worth 2 if Houston comes back. They're up 6 on Seattle. If they lose, they're up 4 as Steven Okert enters the ball game once again for Houston.
Everyday Okert, 60 appearances already this season. He's done a good job on both sides of the plate as far as right-handed hitters and left-handed hitters. He lives by that slider, going at 67.5% of the time.
Yes, he did.
Oh, yes, he did, says our plate umpire from Kentucky, Trip Gibson, with the call. Riz, I know you love when the plate umpire makes a call on you.
Yeah, with Trip too. I got a good story about Trip. I remember.
No.
Well,
oh boy.
No, this is some umpire love right here.
Okay.
These guys, I'm a big advocate for giving umpires a week off every month to keep them fresh because they have no home, right? So I remember talking to Trip one time about that, saying, "Man, you guys are on the move all the time." He said he hadn't been home in about 8 weeks. He's got 3 kids at home.
Oh,
he got home 1 time in an off day in the 8 weeks.
that is wild.
I mean, these guys grind, and we expect them as players to be perfect every single pitch. So it's not an easy job that they do. It's not an easy life they live. It's a big sacrifice on their families.
You have longtime umpire Marvin Hudson over at first. He's the crew chief for this group. It's a great point, Anthony. I mean, even when they have a week off from games, they're in New York City doing the replay center.
Yeah, that's their down week, right?
Right.
And I remember talking to guys so many times after an off day saying, "Hey, were you able to get home?" And that reset for them, even the 24 hours at home reset, means the world to them.
A 1 to Rotten, who swings through strike 2.
I feel like Trip Gibson's one of the umpires that tries to build rapport with players too, right? I mean, just having some conversations with him. Riz, do you find that with him compared to some other umpires?
Yeah, he's one of the good guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked him a lot. I always enjoyed talking to him. I enjoyed Marvin a lot. Marvin's old school, got that southern accent. You learn all these random things about the umpires.
0-2 is downstairs. There you see the look from Trip Gibson's ump cam that he's gracious enough to wear for us tonight. Cubs a one-run game, one-out, bases clear, 8th inning. In the top of the order next for the Mariners, Houston will have Allen, who's homered, then Pena and Alvarez, the top of the order in the bottom of the 8th. 2-2 on Rodden, who's been on base 3 times already. This is his first major league weekend, Brock Rodden. Two and two to the switch hitter Rodden. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, 2 down. What a game we've had tonight. 3-2 your score. Experts from both sides every week here on Sunday Night Baseball, and we are so fortunate to be joined by Jeff Blum with his World Series home run, Ryan Roland Smith with his home run derby title, Anthony Rizzo downstairs inside the pitch with his World Series championship as well. As that goes to third base, Isaac Paredes makes the play. And that is a 1-2-3 innings, something they'll never have pitching to Ryan Roland Smith. 1-run game, bottom 8 next. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Scan the QR code or visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear, like that hat. So Nick Allen was going to be the hitter, but they will pinch hit for him with the newcomer this week, Nelson Velasquez. This is how much you have to target Yordan Alvarez with a left-hander. You bring in the lefty 2 batters ahead of time and deal with the left versus right at bats with Gabe Spire, Ryan.
Well, yeah, with Gabe Spire, look, he's had a little bit of a shoulder issue early on in the season, but it all comes down to the command of that fastball. It's going to be 95, 96. If he can land that pitch, talked about the lefties, up and into lefties, he's going to be in good shape. And with righties too, I think he's kind of graduated from being the left-on-left specialist guy to now all of a sudden 8th inning is his to get you to Andres Munoz. But we know that at bat against Alvarez is looming.
He'll be up 3rd in the inning. That's a really nice fastball for a strike.
It is. And you see, first of all, the velocity 97. If you see a little bit of that run, even though it's a 4-seamer, get a little bit of that run, you know he's in good shape.
Velasquez, who just came over from the St. Louis Cardinals. 1-2 is up and away. 2-2.
This is going to be Velasquez's purpose with the Astros, is to be that right-handed hitter against left-handed pitching. He's going to come in and get those late at bats, or he's going to get the starts against some of those left-handed pitchers to offset Taylor Trammell and Lamont Wade Jr.
That's inside 3-2, and a huge pitch in this game coming up to Velasquez.
4 home runs this season for Velasquez, all against left-handed pitching.
Just his 5th trip to the plate as an Astro, and he just gets a piece of 96 upstairs. He had a big home run season in 2023, 17 of them between the Cubs and the Royals. Velasquez. 3-2 from Spire. High in the air, first base side. Naylor's back on it. Young is over, and Young reaches to make the catch for out number 1, and a huge one for Spire.
Yeah, he was just going to attack with that heater. Velasquez knew it was coming. But just that extra little bit of finish. Gabe Spire lost some of that when he was coming back from that shoulder issue. He was all of a sudden 93s, 94s. The big first out.
For Jeremy Pena, the former World Series MVP, who takes a strike. Line to left, falling quickly but playable for Arozarena, who captures it for out number 2. And now the at bat everyone's thinking about in both dugouts. Yordan Alvarez, Gabe Spire.
Yeah, we talked about this at bat right here. Away, 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 but showed him in. I think this is going to be crucial too, even with Gabe Spire left on left. And he goes back to this breaking ball. Massive. But again, left on left, if you can get that pitch, if you're going to go, excuse me, if you're going to go up and in, and see what Cal's setting up, you have to get it up and in. That was a miss right there.
Oh, 0-1 to Alvarez. 36 home runs to his name. 1-run game. He goes golfing for a hit. The outfield was playing basically on the warning track at the corners, so that's a single. 2-out base hit for Alvarez.
You know what? That's a win right there when you think about it. Keep him in the ballpark. Keep that little trajectory nice and low.
Jeff, that's not a strike.
No, he's very good left on left. He's one of the best at keeping that front shoulder closed, and I know that Rizzo can talk to that too, but to be successful against these Jordan's now pinch run for coming out of this game down by 1.
Cam Smith will check in for him.
But being able to stay on a pitch like that, you've got to have some kind of mental fortitude to be able to convince yourself to keep that front side closed and stay on a slider like that. But that's what Jordan's done over the years.
Isaac Paredes will bat after this message.
At Ace, no matter how you grill, we've got the perfect one for you. Because only your local Ace has all the best brands in one place, like Weber, Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone. That sounds pretty perfect.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Alvarez out for Cam Smith over at first. He is the tying run, Smith is. And Isaac Paredes, pull side power hitter, awaits a first pitch that is outside.
And Cal setting up in. That ball just kind of sailing on Gabe Spire. We've seen a couple of them. Again, comes down that fastball command, righties and lefties for Gabe.
Line drive left field. That's a base hit for Paredes. Sir Anthony Dominguez, the right-hander, is up for the Mariners in the bullpen, and we'll see if it's him to face Altuve.
Well, this is a big decision right here for Dan Wilson, how he manages his bullpen. Sir Anthony Dominguez was the guy they picked up in the trade to bolster that bullpen. Now all of a sudden on the ropes. He hasn't been in this situation in the Mariners uniform just yet, but Dan Wilson will be making the change.
It will be Dominguez, one of the newest Mariners, walking out of that bullpen. 2 on, 2 out when we come back. Sir Anthony Dominguez out of that Mariners bullpen. Sometimes the control can get hazy for Dominguez, who came over from the White Sox. He'll face Jose Altuve and Jeff Blum. As Altuve was preparing for this at bat, he got a little help over in the dugout.
Yeah, you've got Victor Rodriguez, the hitting coach, on the left, but that guy right behind the head of Altuve in that hat, that is Carlos Correa. Those guys have cut their teeth in some big moments over the years, and Carlos Correa is that basically that fourth hitting coach. Still recovering from that ankle surgery, working his way potentially back in September.
First pitch, swing, Altuve pops it up, back of the mound, it falls! It falls somehow, some way. A tumbling Dominguez couldn't pull it in, and just a paratrooper loads the bases.
Wow. One thing you know is that Altuve is in hack mode. Doesn't matter how hard the situation is, but that is unbelievable.
And you saw Cole Young in that situation, broke back just for a second, but still had a good beat on that ball. But Dominguez tripping off the back of the mound, man, could be the biggest at-bat of this game.
Unreal. That definitely brings this crowd to life here at Dyken Park with 2 outs. You couldn't have pulled the pin on that and thrown it in a better spot.
That really was in no man's land.
Incredible.
Just like he drew it up, boys.
That's right.
That's how you get to 2,500 hits.
Yeah.
I know I've been talking about him all night, but I love this mound visit by Cal Raleigh right here. I mean, a wacky play right there. Swinging whatever you call that hit. And Cal waits till the last minute to call the team together, calm them down, understanding that this is the crucial point in the ball game right now.
100%. And like I said, Dominguez has not been in these situations yet as a Seattle Mariner. He has done it plenty in his career. He's probably anchoring on that last little PFP.
Dalton Varsho, right field line, foul. Not by much. Two guys who've just moved into their lockers going at it, and the margin was this thin.
And being aggressive too, Dominguez. I know that Altuve, that little parachute that dropped behind the mound, that water balloon wasn't a hard hit. But both these pitches been middle of the plate.
That's a ball. You got to look out. If you stub a toe here, the game's tied. Jeff, you said it earlier. Astros are so good with 2 out.
It's been incredible. League leaders in scoring runs with 2 outs and scoring them late.
Popped up third base side. How much foul territory is there? Donovan runs out of it. 1-2.
And Varsho is looking for that moment to endear himself to the locals. We saw it last week with a big home run in San Diego. Had a game-tying hit in the first game of this series off a wicked slider from Munoz. But here, a real opportunity to not just tie it up, but to maybe do a little bit more.
On 1-2. Fouled away. A fastball at 99 at the shoulders.
This is so hard for a hitter right now. All 4 fastballs. You know he has the split. You know he has the slider. Varsho's in just straight protect mode, trying to put the ball in play right here.
And that's a pitch he has struggled with, that elevated fastball all year long. Let's stay right up there from Dominguez.
On 1-2 again. Swing and a miss. It's that splitter you talked about, Anthony, and the inning is over. What a reaction by Dominguez. Welcoming space. Capital One Cafe is open 7 days a week. Visit CapitalOne.com/local to learn more. What's in your wallet? Josh Hader, one of the hardest throwing, best relief arms in Major League Baseball in this generation, with an ERA sub-1, will come in to try and keep it right here and give the Astros a chance. Down a run in the 9th.
Hitters challenging.
ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile by Randy Arozarena. They have 2. They can afford to lose 1.
Pitch a strike. Seattle
And
has
they
1
will.
challenge.
That is a solid strike.
Yeah, we've seen some very inconsistent ABS challenging from Randy Arozarena, to put it lightly, this season.
He did go, says Marvin Hudson. 0-2.
There was a game early this season where he burnt both the challenges in one at bat.
Oh no.
Yeah.
First couple innings of a game. Yeah.
Wolf. Yeah, that one caught a little bit of the plate that he challenged.
0-2 is a laser down the left field line and fair. Randy Arozarena hits a searing line drive and ducks his way into second base. Boy, Hader gets all that chase you saw on the screen, and he was in the zone for Arozarena to beat him.
That was way too good of a pitch and a 2-strike count to that guy.
Just sitting dead red.
Basically center cut too. That's a gift.
Leadoff double. Now Canzone, who's been on 3 times on his 29th birthday. He takes ball 1.
Whereas if you're sitting here left on left against a guy like Josh Hader, who's just wipeout against lefties, what's your approach right here?
I'm staying on the heater. Whenever he showed me his slider early, I always took that as a win for me because he's so fastball heavy. And he starts off 2 sliders there. He throws strikes. So right now, you could be dead red on a fastball and aggressive on it because it's probably going to be a strike.
And if you get a slider, you just tip your cap if you swing right through it, right?
Ooh. Oh, boy. 2-1. You took him deep on a heater, yeah?
I did. Josh and I have always had some good battles. He probably got the best of me overall, but I did take him deep in a weekend in Milwaukee, which is one of my better home runs off of him. But he's just so dominant. He just comes at you. I would get on the plate more on him than I would other lefties, just to try to make him feel uncomfortable.
How well does he hide the baseball with that little spin he has?
So I always told lefties you have to see a pitch because he's got that big cross arm action. So I'd always say just see a pitch and see that arm slot.
He was sitting fastball right there. Home can zone. Another pitch, Plummer center cut.
Yeah. He has filled up the zone since coming back from the injured list, which is a beautiful thing. But at the same time, these pitches are catching a lot of a plate, especially in 2-strike counts where you'd like to see him maybe chase a fastball off the outside edge. I've never seen anybody trust their stuff as much as Josh Hader.
What do you mean by that?
Just the ability to have so much confidence inside the zone with their pitches. It's fastball slider. It's almost as if he feels he can tell you what's coming and still have the utmost of confidence that he's going to be able to challenge you and get you out.
He's going to use a 7th pitch here, and it's popped up foul. Later in the at-bat, Anthony, did you feel like there was a trend with you and Hader?
Well, when I see both pitches, I knew I could just stay on that fastball. And as soon as he shows me the slider, I was able to gauge it and kind of pick my tunnel on where I need to see him. So the deeper I got to the at-bat, I felt like the advantage was to me.
High fastball strikes out Canzone, 1 down.
The biggest thing with facing Josh Hader is you have to stay on the fastball. If you see a slider, you react to it, but his fastball is explosive left on left.
You see the reaction from Canzone, who knew it was ball 4. 1 down, Julio Rodriguez. Trying to add on for Seattle. Long fly ball. Varsho in center, back at the track. He makes the catch. Leaning against the wall. Rodriguez thought he might have had it. Arozarena loses his helmet around third, and there are 2 down, but it could have been more.
Well, Julio right now wishing there was a hill out there in center field. That ball was crushed straight away center field.
107.3 off the bat, 413-foot fly out.
So when you're walking back to the dugout saying, how does 107 not get out of the ballpark?
It's amazing.
Then you look later and you go, I hit it 413. The yellow numbers say 409. What are we doing?
Now the metrics don't add up.
The math isn't mathing.
2 out for Naylor. Ground ball first base. Playable for Walker. Inning over. Razor thin margins in this series again, and in the AL West. Bottom 9 next. Every week, plus live radio broadcasts of every game, Game Day 3D, big inning and minor league action. MLB.com/MLB+ to subscribe today. Andres Munoz on for the 3rd time in 4 games, and he will get a second chance at life here with Christian Walker, who walked him off on Friday night.
Yeah, how about this? You see that just little hanging slider. Now you take this game away. Now that was a big swing, a lot of contact, but the Varsho making contact, Altuve we already showed in that inning, was just one of those ones you lose sleep over if you're Andres Munoz. But he has been good in the month of August. Take away that last game. He's been more fastball heavy. Velocity's up on that fastball as well. 101.
He threw a lot of pitches in that inning, too.
He did, yeah. That was a grind.
By the way, Julio Rodriguez's ball gets out of 22 ballparks, including T-Mobile.
I don't usually hear that one.
1 ball, 1 strike. So we've had a non-homer that would have been a homer in 22 parks, and then the Raleigh homer, which is only a home run here. 1-1 for Walker in a redo against Munoz. 2 balls and a strike. Notably, a handful of fastballs.
Yeah, and a couple things with Munoz. You're going to know right away what that command's doing. He is a guy that can beat himself at time because he cannot find the strike zone early in the outing.
That's down and a challenge coming. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. Each team on its last challenge. Is it ball 3? Is it strike 2? It is ball 3. The Mariners are out of challenges, and it's 3-1 to Walker.
That Arozarena challenge just got that much more important now. Yeah. The ball full ball and a half in the strike zone.
Great point, Riz.
Be careful right here, 3-1.
To Walker. On the ground, he jammed him. Donovan at the line, throws to first, out number 1. What a pitch by Munoz.
And that was huge. And look, he's not a guy that's going to try and go in and out. He basically told Cal Raleigh, look, sit up down the middle. I'm going to aim for the top of that mask, and the ball's just going to either run in or it's kind of backspin a little bit. But this one, getting in on the hands to Christian Walker, you can tell how frustrated he was.
Well, a 3-1 count as a hitter, the last thing you want to do is get blown up, but that was a 2-seamer at 101 running in off the plate. So the swing decisions, you don't have much time to make that decision.
Right. It's a whale of a 3-1 pitch.
Yeah, really good. Especially, not to mention, just a couple nights ago, Christian Walker took you deep.
Ball 1 to Lamont Wade Jr. That slider is away. 2 balls and no strikes. That was the first slider of his outing. Ball 3.
It's a really good thing I was never a pitcher, because if I had 101 in the tank, I'd throw about 95 fastballs every outing.
Absolutely. Hey, trust me, I was a pitcher. There's no way I had that. I would be doing the same thing.
I'd be firing that thing all over the place.
Baseball would be fun.
That's a strike called and might have been worth the challenge, but Wade on 3-0 decided not to do it. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think that would have been worthy of the challenge, unless he's going to try and sit on this 3-1 heater right here.
He'll take his walk now. 1 pitch later. Tying run on at first. Winning run coming to the plate. Yainer Diaz, the Astros catcher, came over in a deadline deal 5 years ago from Cleveland.
Man, watch this too. If he throws another ball right here, there's going to be a mound visit. You're going to see Josh Naylor walk over to Andres Munoz and kind of give him be that hype man for him. He's done it a bunch. They played together in the minor leagues. They've known each other forever. And Munoz said to Naylor the amount of times he's gotten on him on the mound. That's all right.
He's in with a strike. This is Naylor before the last pitch, Ryan.
Yeah.
I may be getting ahead of myself here, but in a few hitters, Yordan Alvarez's spot is coming up, and the spot decided to pitch a run for him the inning before. Never a fan of taking out your best player of the ball game.
Especially if extra innings shows up.
Unfortunately, that's happened before earlier this season, but I'm with you, Rizzo.
There's a strike. He's going to challenge. It looks like he's going to lose that challenge. It's either 1-2 or 2-1. Yainer Diaz, the catcher for the Astros. It's a strike.
Houston has no challenges remaining.
So now the Astros in this comeback bid won't have any challenges. Now, if we get to the 10th, each team gets one. Astros have to get it there first. 1-2, lifted foul. Taylor Trammell is on deck. The former Mariner has a bat to hit in the 9 spot, if indeed it gets there. He's shown some power in the second half of this season.
That previous slider was not a good one. I wonder if he comes back with a better one here.
On 1-2, 102. Yikes.
And Blummer, to your point, I'm glad you brought that up because he would lean so heavily on that slider. He'd just get really slider heavy. I've talked about him using this pitch right here more often in this second half of the season. The velocity's gone from 99 to 100, now to 102. Little quick step, no chance for Diaz.
No, not at all. That was a baseball well on the plate. This might be a conversation. They had this at bat earlier in the series, the first game of the series, and Taylor Trammell was wiped out on sliders, chasing some tough ones down. It was kind of a low arm slot from Munoz. And Rizzo talked about tunneling. I feel like Munoz's fastball and slider come out of the same arm angle, same tunnels, same trajectory, and it's so hard to pick it up.
And so that mound visit to Naylor doing all the talking.
If you have a tough broadcast, does he come up and give you a chat?
I might need it sometimes, let me tell you.
It's been a tough year. Taylor Trammell, who spent his first 3 big league years in a Mariners uniform, takes another slider, as you guys talked about. 0-1 on Trammell.
See, for me now as a hitter, I saw the break. Now I'm just staying on the fastball and knowing that that's where the slider needs to start.
Ooh. Oh, man, just tucked it in. 102.
There's certain moments that my chair gets very comfortable. It's moments like that.
Tying run at first. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Andres Munoz comes back from Friday night's defeat and cinches up a series win for Seattle. The Mariners are 4 back in the AL West, and they've won 9 of 11 this year against the Astros. What a game.
Yeah, something about coming to this park. Now, you had that gut-wrenching loss when Munoz was on the mound, giving up that home run to Christian Walker. We showed it. And then all of a sudden, they were able to come back. We talked to Dan Wilson about coming back game 2, and then game 3. It's something about coming to Houston for these Seattle Mariners that wake them up offensively. Now, all of a sudden, if they can take some of this momentum, we saw Cal Raleigh hit the home run. We saw, obviously, Randy Rosarina, that man right there, Dominic Canzone, a couple of others. If they can get some momentum offensively, they may be able to push themselves ahead here in these coming weeks.
The Astros are as calm and cool as collected as I've ever seen a ball club. A lot of what I heard tonight was big game for the Mariners. Yes, it's a big game for the Astros. Yes, they would have liked to have won this game, but I've seen them more times over the years take a couple of uppercuts, a shot to the ribs, get knocked against the ropes, and come right back firing. They came out of the All-Star break, got swept by the Baltimore Orioles, and then went in and swept the Texas Rangers to take over first place. I expect them to bounce back.
With a homestand against the Angels and Athletics coming up. For now, the Mariners close in a little bit. We'll wrap it from here in Houston next. To your final score, Seattle gets the win. One of 4 solo homers in this game for Cal Raleigh. And moments ago, he was downstairs with Ahmed Fareed.
Cal Raleigh with what turned out to be the game-winning home run in the 6th inning as that ball was floating towards the left field fence. What is going through your mind?
Honestly, I was just trying to get out of the box because, you know, you get those weird bounces and maybe try to get an extra base. And I think it went 315.1 foot, so barely got over.
Yeah, it bounced over. That was the one that made it 3-2. So this year, obviously, you've talked about it. It's been a grind. Who has helped you the most navigate this season?
You know, we just got a great group of guys here, and got a good, you know, inner circle, you know, family, friends, obviously teammates and coaches here. So, you know, I don't really care about myself. Just, you know, want to see team success, and you know, proud of us this weekend here. It was a big series against these guys. They're a really good team, hard to play here, and just really proud how we, you know, got it done and executed and kind of stayed together. So.
Anthony Rizzo, part of our broadcast, was raving about the timing of your mound visits. 8th inning, Sir Anthony Dominguez, bases loaded jam. You went out there. What did you say to him?
Yeah, you know, I mean, obviously, what a crazy play that was. You know, we get the pop up, we get the pitch we wanted, it didn't work out, and you know, just trying to slow the game down. You know, he's, you know, Sir Anthony's a vet, and he's been around for a long time, and just trying to help him catch his breath, slow the game down, try to, you know, get the momentum off of their side, and trying to help him, you know, get back to focus on the task at hand, which is getting Varsho. So,
Cal, the standings say that you're a playoff team and in the mix right now, at least. Do you feel like a playoff team?
Yeah, we do. You know, ultimately, like I said, it's not about what you've done in the past. You gotta, you know, leave that behind, and we're looking ahead to the future. And you know, we don't really care about, you know, what other people say or don't say or count us out. So we're just focused on ourselves right now, trying to go one game at a time. We've got another big series in Milwaukee here coming up. So,
congrats on the win. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. For sure.
Cal Raleigh, team forward there, team first there, and as his Mariners are 4 games out of the American League West lead. The Rangers lost to the Athletics earlier today, and this game is pretty fitting for the American League West this year. Jason Benetti, Ryan Rowland-Smith, Jeff Blum. We came in thinking it could be weird the rest of the way here, and it probably is going to be one way or the other. Yeah. This thing has changed hands so many times, and Ryan, the Mariners, let's start there, get a couple of homers. They get great pitching from Brian Wu tonight. The bullpen holds up. This is the formula.
Yeah, and you mentioned the formula and some of the little things coming together at the same time. And I mentioned this early in the game. With the Seattle Mariners for 2026, it's about having some sort of momentum and everything coming together at the same time. They just simply haven't had that. Whether it's been an injury here, the lineup, the way you wanted to construct it coming out of spring training has never always been intact. You know, the starting pitching, but it all, you know, came together in this series for him to take 2 or 3, especially after that tough loss on Friday. So this has got to be one. You heard Cal Raleigh talk about having to go to Milwaukee. You have to take some of the good vibes, some of the energy, which they haven't had, into Milwaukee and keep this going, because there's so much left, you know, in this American League West especially.
Well, I feel like in the wild card too, there's so many teams ahead of you that you have to count. You can't count on those 5-6 other teams faltering and allowing you to go over there. So, I mean, I feel like everything for all of these teams, the Rangers, the Astros, the Mariners, everything's on that West Coast or in that division, so they've got to go out there and win those. And I'm just fortunate it wasn't a 12-2 game, because that seems like what the Mariners do to the Astros. They were able to stay in it, but this game, again, exposed what the Astros need to go out and do. They need to get somebody in their rotation to step up and be consistent, keep them in the games late, because they do have a tendency to go out there and beat up on some bullpens late. They weren't able to do it today. They did it in the first game of the series, but at the same time, you've got to go through some of these tough stretches to kind of figure out what we need to do better, and usually the Astros end up doing that. But there's still 2 more games between these 2 ball clubs in September. Those might be really big games.
Houston, it's Seattle, it's Texas, it's Cleveland, it's Baltimore, it's the Tigers, it's the Blue Jays, it's the Red Sox.
Amazing.
Every week it's somebody new playing great baseball or poor baseball to let somebody else in.
Yeah, it's like no one wants to run away with it. And sometimes, too, maybe you look around and say, well, you know what? When we come to the ballpark every day, it's like we're still in it, even though we've struggled in the last week or whatever it may be. I will say this from a Mariners point of view, man. They've got a tough month of August. But when they get to September, all of a sudden you've got the Angels a couple times, the Rockies, you know, playing in Colorado. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel if they can hover here and get some of that magic going into September.
But how many times have we said that this season?
Exactly right.
Because the Astros are doing the same thing you're talking about. We have a day off tomorrow, and then we head right back into the Angels, Athletics, and you're going, all right, boys, start licking your chops and go. You still have to play those games, and to the credit of the Angels and Athletics, they continue to go out there and play good baseball. I mean, we saw what the Angels and Athletics have done to the Texas Rangers, and you're kind of going, you can't have a let-up at any point.
They just went 2-5 against the Angels and Athletics on a road trip.
Explain that for me, would you?
Don't make that my job. Here's how this went tonight. 3-2, the Mariners with the win. As you heard Ahmed Fareed talk about, Cal Raleigh, a huge home run. And 4 solo shots on the night. Brian Wu was great, 6 innings, 3 hits, just 2 runs. This Mariners rotation is one of the best in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and again, I cannot say this enough with Brian Wu, how different he has looked on the road. Goes to New York, and it's that empty the tank out the gates. He only went 5 innings. They basically said, look, go 3 innings, 100 pitches, we don't care, don't give in. And tonight he looked like his dominant self. This was huge for the Mariners rotation.
3-2 your final score. Mariners with the win behind Brian Wu. Next weekend on NBC, Sunday Night Baseball heads to Boston where the Red Sox host the Giants, 3 Eastern. Hunter Pence, Lou Merlone, Anthony Rizzo join me. And so tonight we say farewell for our producer, Matt Borzello, our director, Corey Newmy, who just had to get us throwing Cracker Jack one more time. For Jeff Blum, Ryan Rowland-Smith, Anthony Rizzo, and Ahmed Fareed, I'm Jason Benetti saying good night from Houston. You've been watching Sunday Night Baseball on NBC, presented by Capital One.